We're live.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first ever Asian football show live show. I'm very happy to be joined by my great friends here, Arya Nourizadeh and Kenta Hagiwara. So Arya, tell me, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. A part of me is secretly hating this because you guys have forced me to wear a fucking Sadara's Moon AS Roma kit. When I looked at myself in the mirror 15 minutes ago, I became depressed. This is a horrible kit. Yeah. Why would you do that to me, man? Yeah.
And
What about you guys?
Kenta?
I'm very happy to see Arya in a Osmoon Roma kit. So I'm doing very well right now, seeing him in this kit and
Ye-
just kind of looking overall pretty sad as we start this live show. So I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, and I mean, I've got this Sharab Alahi scarf as well. I'm gonna ship this to you soon, Arya. It will go well with your Sardar Azmoun kit. I'm sure you'll enjoy it very much.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, before before we start, why don't we all go through the kits that we're wearing for today? So Arya, you already explained yours. I'm sure you love that kit. Kenta,
I'm wearing technically a U.S. men's national team. I should probably stand
oh
up
my
or
God,
something. Just the U.S. men's national team shirt. Look, I'm American. It wasn't my first just kit of choice for today, but I believe this is the 2023 away kit. So last year's away shirt.
yeah, I told Kenta if he wears that shirt, I'm gonna leave the stream. So I think I can see why he did that. Oh yeah, I'm wearing the Al Hilal away kit for this season. Um, it's actually the Renan Dodi kit, and it's signed as well. It was gifted to me by my good friend Khalid in Riyadh. So shout out to him. A very good person. So yeah, we already have someone in the chat. Fire TV account. Um, I'm not sure I know who you are. Maybe if you post your Twitter username, we'll know you. But yeah, we'll wait a few minutes, I think, until. So we have 5 viewers right now. Do you guys think we should start or just wait a little bit more?
I think we should wait a little bit more. F1, tell me a little bit about your day. How was your day? What did you do? Is there anything
Oh
interesting in your
yeah,
life?
yeah. Thank you for asking, Arya. So yeah, your normal day. You wake up, you go to work, uh, and then you come back. Got a bit of sleep because obviously it's a bit later here compared to you guys. So have to get some rest in for tonight's stream, um, and hopefully I'm all energized. Kenta, what about you? How was your day?
My day. Well, it's only 1 p.m. over here, so not a ton's
Oh
gone
yeah,
on. I've eaten breakfast and lunch, but yeah, I haven't done a ton. Um, yeah, not a ton. I went out with some friends yesterday. Obviously, with it being kind of the end of the year, a lot of my friends from like high school are back in town, and so had a longer night. But yeah, nothing crazy today.
Put the
Arya?
fries in the bag, bro.
Shut the
what
Shut
about you,
up.
Arya?
Me, I mean, no, nothing, bro. It's 1 p.m. as well, same time zone as Kenta. Um, I'm just getting my day started. Started off pretty well with you guys making me put a fucking Sadara's Moon kit. Um, what the hell is that? You mean I'm such a huge fan? Okay, cool.
Yo,
I got the legendary Tim Hortons coffee right here, so I'm drinking coffee to keep
I've got
myself.
the Persian tea.
All right, all right. I'll donate
Um,
euros if fun starts shaking it up, bro. Get up, bro. Get up. Get up and
guys, it's been 4 minutes, man. Come on, isn't it a bit too early for this?
it is. It is pretty fine.
No,
It's
it's
way too
never
early
too
for this. But
early.
thank you, Armin, for the kind words. Oh yeah, this is true.
The Osmoon kit is the
The
kit of
Osmond
shame.
kit is the kit of shame.
Hey, don't blame me, man. It's not me. They forced me to put it. They're like, oh, put the
We
Osmoon.
just asked you to wear it. We didn't force you. We're not
Yeah,
even close
Yeah,
to
you
you.
guys, you guys blackmailed me into putting it. You guys said if you don't put the Osmoon kit, you're getting kicked off the Asian football show. And
No such thing happened.
Guys, I'm actually being held hostage in Kenta's closet right now. Guys, please help.
We will not confirm nor deny that.
Please
Anyways,
help. Guys,
uh,
please help.
okay. So do we get straight into it?
Yeah, I just wanna shout out um, Jamie Lieveling for being such a legend. That's it. Now we can start.
Okay, thank you for that. Um,
Nobody gave a shit, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy.
yeah, before we start, look at this.
If I take over Iran, the biggest punishment would be wearing an Osmoon kit, walking the streets of Tehran while people get shot. Okay, that's crazy. But I don't want to get killed, man.
Okay. So 2024, a big year for Asian football. Obviously we had the biggest Asian tournament of them all at the start of the year. We've had lots of qualifiers, youth tournaments, and also women's tournaments. We'll make sure to go through all that, but I think we should start with the big elephant in the room, which was the Asian Cup. It was held from January to February in Qatar. I was there, and it was a very good experience. But I'll let you guys talk about the tournament overall and what you guys thought of it before we get into more details. So, actually, Kenta, yeah, I'll come to you first.
Yeah, obviously some of the bigger names at the tournament. I guess you could say underperformed in terms of where they finished in the knockout stage. You have Japan losing to Iran in the quarters. You have South Korea losing to Jordan in the semis. So you have some of like the bigger Eastern Asian countries that underperformed, I guess, in terms of what your expectations were of them. I think going into the knockout stage, a lot of people that weren't Asian football fans would have said, "Hey, it's going to be Japan and South Korea at the final." And neither of them made it to that final stage. Qatar looked really good. They were one of the best defensive teams that I'd seen in a really long time. And then,
Rigged.
of course,
Rigged.
you look later on into qualifiers. I'm sure we'll get to, and it's kind of a flip of the script there. But yeah, I thought it was a very enjoyable tournament as a whole to watch. If you're just watching it as a neutral, I know if you're invested into a certain team and your team doesn't do well, it's a different thing. But yeah, I thought it was some good upsets, just some really good matches as a whole. Yeah, it's a good tournament.
Great. Good stuff. Is it my turn now, or is it Erfan's
Sure.
turn? I mean, bro, what do you guys want me to say? I mean, the man on the back of my kit sold me dreams when he scored that goal against Qatar. Scoring that nice bicycle kick. At that point, I thought we won the whole thing. I'm not gonna lie to you, we didn't. Um, it's just a shame. It's just a shame if you're an Iranian watching that tournament. I think we it was so weird. We had one good game, then a horrible game, then a good game, then a horrible game. There's just no consistency, which we're gonna get to talk about later on into the show. As a tournament overall, I
Yeah,
think it was an entertaining um, tournament. I think a lot of people got to see the lower ranked teams perform, which could be a good thing, can also be a bad thing. Lots of people were actually complaining that the final was between Qatar and Jordan. They're like, well, where the hell are the big guys? If they're the teams that they're always being hyped up, always qualifying for the World Cup, they were nowhere to be seen in the finals. So that's one thing. But no, I think there's a lot of teams that showed how good of a team they can actually be, and there was some that weren't too impressive either. But I think there was a lot more positives than negatives in that tournament, in my opinion.
yeah, and so Fire TV account wants us to talk about Iraq. So I guess we'll start with that. Iraq had a very good group stage. I mean, they were the first team to beat Japan at the tournament. Ayman Hussein, he did absolute wonders. And to be honest, after that group stage, um, I was expecting them to reach the final because really they looked unstoppable. And their defense, their attack, it was just going so well for them. And yeah, even versus Jordan, they were leading up until a point when Ayman Hussein was sent off. Very controversial. I say it was deserved, but maybe my Iraqi friends think otherwise. But yeah, after that, Jordan took full advantage and scored 2 goals in extra time, and it ended for them. Very sad, but yeah. Arya, what do you think?
About Iraq? No, yeah, you're right. They had a pretty solid tournament. They some would say they overperformed because if you consider on how they've been now in recent results, where they haven't been so great, especially in the. I just looked at that comment. I'm gonna react to it later. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, in the Arabian Gulf Cup, we've seen how bad they've been. So I think it's a funny contrast of they have the same manager, same lineups. They've been really good in the beginning. Now they're not that great, and it's trying to find a balance between that. But Asian Cup wise, yeah, I think it's they may be when you beat the best team in Asia, you're expected to go all the way at that point. But then they didn't, and I would see why they would be disappointed in that. But that again, they weren't expected to reach the final in the first place, or whatever, or even just to beat Japan in the first place, right? So the fact that they did it is, I think, by itself a huge achievement, which is great. Now we're gonna come to this horrible comment. Ayman Hussein, best striker in Asia. That's just not true. Um, it's just not true. And if I say anything else than that, I will get suspended. I will get this whole brand shut down. So I think it's best for me to not say anything. But I do not agree with your statement, Mr. Fire TV.
I think he is one of the best national team strikers in Asia. I mean, didn't he score in like 9 or 10 consecutive games for Iraq? It was something like that. So he's a great striker, especially over the last 1 or 2 years. But to say he's the best striker in Asia when he's really performing below average in the Qatari league, it's a very heavy statement. So yeah, but Kenta, what do you think of Iraq?
Yeah, I remember the last match day in the group stage of the Asian Cup, and even then, I'm pretty sure Ayman Hussein had a really late penalty to win that game for them. Um, I, was it against Vietnam? I think. Anyways, like it wasn't a perfect group stage for them. They obviously had their massive win against Japan, incredibly well deserved. But you would expect a team that had the highs of beating Japan in the previous match day, right? And like pretty confidently that Wataru Endo goal was a third minute of stoppage time in the second half. Like it was all over. It was a 2-0 win, right? If you exclude stoppage time. So you have that, you have the good win against Indonesia, and so you would expect that team to kind of carry that momentum forward, and you didn't necessarily see that against Vietnam, despite them getting the result. So I'm not totally surprised at how their form's been since, knowing that like they weren't able to continue their form after Japan, and it felt like more it was just a one-off where they just were able to beat a really good team once, rather than what could be a consistent showing of performances where they can punch above their weight. I just haven't seen that yet from Iraq. So in terms of what they've done in the Gulf Cup, I can't say I'm overly surprised.
From what I've seen with
Yeah.
this Iraqi national side is, I mean, listen, I'm not going to claim that I'm an Iraqi football expert, but I haven't actually had time to really catch up with the Gulf Cup. But from what I've seen from people on Twitter, apparently they're very, very critical of Kazas and his lineups. Apparently, he's not picking the right player, um, which was weird because like you see how good they were at the Asian Cup and kind of after that, and then they just sort of just not fell off. I don't think that's the right word, but you can kind of see the quality just couldn't continue. They kind of stagnated and kind of slowly went back down, which I think is a shame because this Iraqi side is a side that is 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 good for Asian standards, in my opinion. I think they have a lot of good talent as well. We've talked about Zinan Iqbal, we've talked about Ali Jassim, which I don't know if we're going to be talking. I think we're talking about European players later on, but you see that and it gives you hope if you're an Iraqi supporter, but then you see the team sort of like just going down and down and down, and you just wonder like, okay, well, what's the next move here? What's the next step of the operation? And we're just gonna have to wait and see. But like some people are ruling them out of World Cups because of how bad they've been in the Golf Cup. But I think it's a bit too early to rule any nation out, to be honest, at this stage.
Yeah, I agree with you. And before we move on, this lovely comment here from Matt Olson, our good friend from Australia. He's actually covering covering Arya's face. But yeah, he said, "Love your work, boys. 2 a.m. for me in Western Australia, so we'll catch the full stream later." As for questions, who will be the breakout national team in AFC men's football from now till the World Cup in 2026? So we actually have a lot of questions as well from other people. We've decided to do them in between the stream. So I say, why don't we answer this now? Um, so he wants to know who the breakout national team will be in the 2026 World Cup. So I'll start. I think there's a very obvious uh, pick in Uzbekistan. But even though I think they are very very good and they will make the World Cup, I'm going to go with Jordan. And the improvement that these guys have had over 2024 has been absolutely insane. I would even say 2024 was Jordan's year. Because if at the end of 2023 you would have told me, oh, these guys are making the final of the Asian Cup, they're serious contenders for the World Cup, I would have called you crazy. But the way that their players have been playing, especially their attack, the likes of Yazan Al Nemat, Yazan Al Arab, Musa Al Tamari, and the French League, they've really made a name for themselves. And I think that Jordan will be the breakout men's national team. Kenta, what do you think?
I'll go with a different team for the sake of going with it, and I'll avoid the obvious, as you said, in Uzbekistan. Despite how they've played in the Asian competition recently, this past month, I'm gonna go with Indonesia. Their roster wasn't their main roster, even remotely close to their first team roster that they had at the tournament where they uh, didn't play well, right? In the group stage, they lost 2, 1-1, drew 1, and we're grouped. But we've seen how good they've played. Obviously, they had their biggest win we've seen in a really long time in their 2-0 win against Saudi Arabia in World Cup qualification. And they're in a group where realistically any of the other 5 teams outside of Japan still have a chance to automatically qualify. And I think Indonesia can carry that momentum from that Saudi Arabia game into the matches against Australia, the matches against a China and a Bahrain that they still have. I really think there's a good shot that they make it. And I like the dual nets that they've been able to bring in, whether that's Martin Pais that recently came in as a goalkeeper. He's been a revelation for them. And kind of that list goes on and on and on and on and on. But yeah, I think in terms of a breakout team and what overperforming expectations, if you were to ask me from the start of World Cup qualification for 2026, I would say Indonesia in a heartbeat.
Yeah, fair enough. Arya, what do you think?
Yeah, I would have originally said Uzbekistan, but I think they've pretty much had their not that they've had their breakout, but I think everyone knows they're here now in Asia. I think everyone knows that they're good. I'd have to agree with Kenta. I think it has to be Indonesia. I mean, the last few games they've had, not including the most recent ones, but talking World Cup qualifying, I think it's. I mean, I was watching that Saudi Arabia game and I was just in awe, man. It's just like, what the hell? Genuinely, what the hell? Uh, Very, very good. So I would say Indonesia, but then if you want to go with a safe answer, I think I'd go with Uzbekistan. I think what they're doing is impeccable, and it's not only just in football itself. It's just what they're doing for the whole region and every other sport. We've seen it with futsal at the World Cup, and I think what they're doing, is good for Asia, especially the best region in the world. I'm gonna try and say this without laughing. The Kafa region, but I would say yeah, it's between Indonesia and Uzbekistan for sure.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, I'm going with Jordan, and these two boring guys are going with Indonesia. Anyways, so moving on to the next comment, which is a very very serious and amazing question from my good friend Metin here. So what did you guys think of Rouzbeh Cheshmi getting snubbed at the Ballon d'Or? So yeah, first of all, I actually had a whole speech ready regarding this, but it's going to take a lot of time, so I'll just get it out quick. Yeah, it's a disgrace. FIFA have took it too far, in my opinion. And to not even invite the guys to the ceremony, I think it shows how corrupt FIFA really are, and the game's gone, man. To be honest. And do you guys have anything to add regarding this very serious matter?
No, I don't.
No comment.
I think Kai
No
Havertz was
comment.
robbed. I think Kai Havertz was robbed of a Ballon d'Or. I think he's the greatest player of all time. I think he's the greatest of any sport that we've ever seen. He's just amazing. I don't know why people keep saying who's Bicheshmi. I think he's trash. He's bald, and yeah, that's what I think. By the way, guys, I don't know what the hell is going on. I can't see anyone anymore, so I'm just gonna head off the stream and come back. Is that fine? Because like there's like
Yeah.
a loading circle, and I just can't see anything. So I'll be back. Give me like 2 seconds.
Just lost
That's
Arya
what you
there,
get
right?
for. That's what you get for talking shit about
For
Cheshmi.
trash.
That's what he gets. Arya, by the way, I did that to your internet because you talked bad about Cheshmi. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So POIAUS said that this cup was good. Iran versus Japan, Iraq, Japan, Korea, Jordan. Yeah, he's right.
I'm
Some
just
great
saying Japan
games.
was on the losing side of both games. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyways, I'm not saying that to piss off Kent. I'm just saying facts. Iraq will come back. Why did you put that? Was like the worst moment to put that comment, bro. Let's go back to the let's come back to the original one. I don't know if you guys want to talk about those 3 games. I mean, we kind of talked about Iraq, Japan. I don't know if you guys want to talk about Iran, Japan. I think Kenta wants to skip that, but I'm gonna make sure that he listens to every single word that is about to come out of my mouth. Korea, Jordan. Let's start with that one. Korea, Jordan. I genuinely expected Korea to like mop the floor with Jordan. Like I was very surprised at how bad they were in that game. I was not expecting Korea to go. I mean, yeah, we've seen this whole was Jurgen Klinsmann and all that stuff, right? Not good, but they still pulled through. They didn't have the best of results either, but I don't know. I was really expecting them to win against Jordan and to lose in that fashion. 2-0 was very crazy to me. Well,
I personally disagree. They played in the group stage. It was a draw, but like not
Barely
a
a
draw
draw,
South Korea would be happy with. I mean, like that was a late own goal and a penalty. That's their 2 goals in that draw. I mean, like it was just not a good performance by them in the first game. And then you're going into this match where South Korea still didn't play well. They played their final match of the group stage. I forget who it was against. Was it Malaysia? I think Malaysia was the final
Yeah, I
match day
have it up
for
here.
them.
Yeah, it was against Malaysia 3-3.
Yeah, so
what a game that was as well.
They didn't win that game in the final match day, and then they go into the knockouts. They barely get by Saudi Arabia in penalties, and then they barely get by an Australia, right? Like and that's like not the best performance that we saw in either of the matches leading into a match where they already underperformed against Jordan. I didn't think it was a shocking result there, truthfully.
I thought they would put more of a fight than
No,
they did.
I actually before the game, I met Visa. You guys know him. I mean, Thogden, popular YouTuber, and yeah, he asked me who I think would advance to the final, and I said Jordan without a doubt because the way things went in to that game and the support that the Jordanians had in Qatar was insane. By the props to the Jordanian fans, and they were on this very good form. And South Korea, yeah, sure, they had beaten Australia as well as Saudi Arabia, but they weren't very convincing. And those 2 teams weren't at their best during the Asian Cup. So that's why I expected Jordan to win, and they didn't even give South Korea any breathing space during that game. So yeah, again, our good friend here, Iraq, will come back. We'll see about that.
They can. I mean, definitely, without a doubt, they can. The players are there. The structure is there. It all depends on how the manager puts in. Because from what I'm hearing, you guys are not happy with them whatsoever.
Yeah, and whatever I do, Arya's face is always getting blocked somehow. So we'll just have
Yeah,
to
so
stick with this.
it's weird because like now I can see myself, I can see you, but I can't see Kenta. Kenta, can you like turn on your camera and turn it off for like 2 seconds? Okay, that doesn't work. That's so weird. Oh, I see you. Never mind. Okay, cool. Guys, we're having some technical difficulties here. This is our first stream, so bear with us.
Let's restate this. Arya's having some technical difficulties. Irfan and I have not had any technical
The
difficulties. It's
Asian
just been
football
on
show
your
is having the Asian football show
it's just been
is
on your
having
end.
the Asian football show is having technical difficulties. That's it. Technical, see, exactly.
Just
Thank you very
saying,
much.
Arya's the only one who talked bad about Cheshire.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. So, anyways, yeah, moving on. First of all, Connor is here. From Uzbek Football on Twitter. You guys probably know him. Yeah, make sure to check him out if you guys are into Central Asian football or Uzbek football. Very great person, amazing account. And thank you for your kind comments. And yeah, so speaking of Central Asia, so Gab Games. So he said Kyrgyz keep pushing these big teams hard, and I think they'll make a big step going forward. Not 2026, but certainly future regional competitions like
Like a
Kappa.
cup. Like Copper Nations Cup,
Yeah,
bro.
like a
The
Kappa.
greatest cup of all time. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we've seen improvements in their league. We've seen improvements, and they have Joel Koji. I think he's an Indonesian legend because I think his goal against Oman caused Indonesia to advance as one of the best third place teams at the Asian Cup. So they like him a lot. Rumors are he is moving to the Iranian league during um, the winter as well. So yeah, they are definitely improving, and I think they are one to look out for in future competitions. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. I mean, even look at like how they've done in World Cup qualification. Admittedly, the points aren't there, but like both the matches against Iran were, at the end of the match, at least they were both one goal losses, right? Say what you will about that, that 2-3 win for Iran. I'm sure you'll talk about it when we go over. World Cup qualification, but they had that win against North Korea. They've had a couple of really close matches between Iran and Uzbekistan where, yeah, I think, looking at kind of the projection of this national team for the next 5-10 years, like I think there's a lot to be excited for, and if the youth development continues to be there and that their domestically continues to improve, I mean, for sure, I think they'll make a great big step forward. I think they already have.
I think it's best for us to skip those Iran qualifying games. I'm not in the mood to talk about them. Yeah. No, yeah. Seriously, no. I think Kyrgyzstan. I mean, listen, man. They. I remember us playing them just last year. In the Cup of Nations Cup where we destroyed them. Was it what, like 5-1 or something? 5-0? I don't remember what the scoreline was. And to see that same group of players against us now, going neck and neck, shows levels. I mean, they've been very good. I like you just said in your comment, maybe not for 2026. I think it's unfortunately maybe a tiny bit too late for that. But I think for the future, definitely in region cups as well, I think Kyrgyzstan can become a good side for sure.
Yeah. So he's actually right on this. Pio, I mentioned we missed the Iran-Japan game. And yeah, I think Kenta, you might want to bring some tissues for this. But yeah, wow. I mean, I think we can all agree that was Iran's best game under Amir Khalanoui, as of now at least. And Arya, I mean, talk about that performance. What do you think?
All right. I also want to hear from Kenta, like on a more serious note, of what he thinks of the game and how his team played, how Moriyasu went into the game, like in a serious conversation, like trolling aside. Um, Man, it was. Listen, man, we went in without two of our best players. No Sadar Mohamed, no Mehdi Taremi. We like. There's not a single Iranian on this earth, like on planet Earth, who had hope for this game. Not a single one. And I, after that Morita goal, I was like, it's over. Like the 0.1% chance we've had, it's gone. But then coming into that second half, things changed. I don't know what it was. I don't know what the hell Radenoy said at halftime. It's like it was a completely different team. Everybody just jumped at the ball the second they had a chance. Adidas Ajaman Bash, that guy had the game of his life. The guy was screaming after every single freaking action. I remember when he tackled Mitoma, the guy started celebrating as if he just won the World Cup. And I was like, oh, for the first time ever, like, oh shit, like these guys are actually showing some sort of mentality, and it's something we haven't seen from Iran in such a long time. And it felt nice. It doesn't matter if it was against Japan; it could have been against Korea, Saudi Arabia. I don't care. It's just the fact that the team finally sort of gave a shit is what I found amazing. And to come back down 1-0, you were going in 1-0 down against the best team in Asia, to then come back and winning the game 2-1. Could have been more if that Osmoon goal was counted, which should have
Wow.
counted. I still stand with that, but nevertheless, whatever. Um, I was a little bit not disappointed. I was happy, but I was also a little bit weirded out by the fact that Japan wasn't really attacking, and the chances that they had weren't that well. But I guess I think Kenta can talk a lot more about that. But overall, I mean, yeah, it is the best game we had this year. Um, and I also remember prior to the game, everybody was like, "Oh, Mehdi Ghaidi has to start. Mehdi Ghaidi has to start," and I was one of those guys. And I know ended up starting Mohamed Mohebi, and then we were all like,
Wow.
"What the hell is this guy doing?" And well, he was incredible. He was very good. And I saw this one video of this one guy like analyzing the game, and he went in saying that apparently, I don't know, he went in thinking that the person to target was Ko Itakura, which kind of does make sense because both goals came from him, and he was very clumsy in that game. So I don't know. I don't think we'll get a game like that out of Harinui in a very long time, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. I've
Yeah,
talked enough.
before we move on to anything, a very important question from Armin. When are we getting an Asian football show anime? Kenta?
Dude, I wish if I was like even remotely decent at drawing or like artwork, heck yeah. But like,
I think it will be 18 plus for Arya and Harvard. Anyways, okay.
I didn't catch it. Sorry, what?
Do you see the comment?
When are we getting an Asian football show anime?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the anime, if there is one, it will have to be 18 plus. I mean, the
Oh
things
man,
Arya would do for Harvard would be unspeakable. So,
what? That's crazy.
anyways, so Kenta, yeah, why don't you talk about um, the Japan game,
Yeah.
Iran-Japan game from your perspective?
Yeah, it's a very confusing game. Obviously, Mitoma was hurt, so wasn't able to start. And then you have the whole Junya Ito incident that's since washed over. But he wasn't with the team. So you're down kind of your starting wingers going into the match. And it just felt like maybe that handicapped Moriyasu from trying to make more aggressive moves in terms of coming off the bench. Just as a whole, I know Dyson started. He came off along with Kubo in like 60th, 70th minute. And Mitoma comes on, Minamino comes on. But we didn't see a single attacking sub after that. You're tied 1-1. Like, you would like to see a team, whether it's we're going to try to bulk down and go for extra time, or we're going to go in and try to find that winner. Go one way. Like, don't just settle. Because until that second goal was scored and that penalty, after the penalty scored, you're going to take off Morita and you're going to take out Ritsuzuan. That's when you're going to make the move. It's too late. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know why you're preserving the subs. You had a Keito Nakamura that didn't play. That's mind-boggling to me. You're out a left winger. Why? If Mitoma's hurt, then why isn't he playing a single minute in the match that we needed him for? It's just I think it's poor management of the match. I said this when it happened. But yeah, also Iran just outplayed Japan. Like they didn't have as much possession, but they outshot them. They created the better chances. They created the more quantity of chances. So, like, I'm not totally upset.
Somali 4G. Okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I'm not totally upset because I don't think it was a result that we deserved either, based
But
off of
then
how we performed.
I also was kind of shocked at like the
Mm.
lack of pace. I mean, our players are slow as hell, man, and there wasn't. I'll give you an example with Omid Ibrahimi. The guy's like 37 years old. Was somehow able to last the whole game, not outpacing, but outrunning necessarily some of the Japanese players who are much, much more faster than him. And I found that, I don't know, it was weird. It's a very weird game. It's just one of those games where I feel like you you couldn't have expected that in any way, shape, or form.
I don't think you
Yeah, it
expected
was.
the result, but watching the match, I don't think you're surprised by the result either. Yeah, I don't think it's a result where like you would look back after watching the match and be like, "This team won."
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that about it. I think
Yeah.
Iran outplayed Japan, so I wouldn't say that either. But yeah, you look at Japan as a whole; they go back into this 4-1-4-1 shape to like they played a 4-2-3-1 going into this, where there was second round World Cup qualification heading into this tournament, and then they all of a sudden play a 4-1-4-1 with a single pivot. You lose your starting wingers, so now you don't have the pace on the wings, and I get where Moriyasu might have like it's tough, but like you have so much depth and so much quality in terms of the Japanese pool of talent, arguably the most I think in all of Asia right now, where like that can't be an excuse for you to not perform, like not having your 2-star players on the wide in the wide channels.
One last question I wanted to ask you, Kent, personally, is did that kind of expose Japan's defense in some way? Because everybody was slandering Koitakura after that game because he had a very bad match. Would you like to see
Yeah.
him start games? Well, I mean, starting forward, we're already like at the end of 2024, but I think you know what I mean.
I think Itakura
Yeah.
always has had inconsistent performances for the national team. I don't think this is the first time we've seen it. I don't think it'll be the last time we see it. I think it helps now that we're in the back three system. But yeah, I didn't think Tomiyasu or Ito Hiroki also had particularly good games in that match either, and they were paired up on the left side. And then did we have Mike Masaya? Yeah, we did have Mike. I'm reading the screen here. As a right back, so that's also a confusing move to me when you have Sugawara on the bench, right? Like that. I mean, I have my preferences myself, but yeah, it wasn't a good defensive performance. I still think Ko Itakura is a starter for the national team, if that's what you're asking.
Okay.
But you look long term at the Japanese national team at the center back position, and I think there is competition at this point for him for a starting spot. If he starts to fall off in form even more, then I think that conversation needs to be had about Itakura long term. But like right now, I don't know how many center backs I would take him under, or how many center backs I would take over Itakura Cole right now. Like Koki Machida's playing really well. Tomiyasu and Hiroki Ito are both coming off of injuries. I don't know. I probably wouldn't play them right now, but I'd assume that they're higher priority than Itakura Cole. But yeah, I don't think his starting position is in jeopardy as of now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously, and personally, that Iran-Japan game was, I think, one of the best moments of my life. I mean, being there was
stadium, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was there with the other Globazan boys. I was there with Daniel and Sina, and because we had no hope going to that game, But I'll say one thing: we went to the team training, and the day before the game, and the guys were pumped. Like even Taremi, who was suspended, he came up to the media and he was like, "Tomorrow Iran will win," and I think it shows how much confidence and how key confidence is while playing in tournaments like this. So yeah, overall, there's no words to explain this team.
So
It was just
ironic to say
unreal.
this because then we play against teams like Kyrgyzstan and we just shit the bed. Like that's just so ironic coming from him. But whatever. I'm not getting into
Okay.
that. I'm not getting into that
Yeah.
debate.
Um. So this question is for me and you, Arya.
What's
Um.
up?
So Arya and Erfan, do you guys have high hopes that the new generation of Team Melli is going to surpass the generation since Raid is playing really well?
Brother, what
Arya?
new generation? We don't have a new generation. We have the same generation since 2018. We don't have a new generation. What generation, bro? We're still starting Hossein Kanani and Choja Khalizadeh in 2020 fucking 4. There's no new generation. Um, we're cooked. We're genuinely cooked. I think the new generation. I mean, to answer your question more seriously, I think he's talking about the younger guys.
It's U20
Nuanda,
guys, yeah.
who's joined Leganes, Kenta Hagiwara, Razereni, all these guys, which it's an Iran problem. These guys are not going to join a national team until they reach the 25, 26 years mark. That's just how it goes with Team Melli, and that's been a problem for a very long time. But then again, then we're going to get into the politics of Team Melli, which, nah, man, I'm not getting into this. Um, yeah. I don't know if you want to show
Yeah.
the under 20 squad. I don't know if that's a thing. So maybe people
Yeah, I
have
can do
an
that.
idea, or maybe people have an idea of who I'm talking about because these are like pretty obscure players to be honest. Um, but I'm reading your another comment here. Do you think someone like Razavini is ready for a call up in March, considering the lack of depth in midfield and competition for Izzatullahi? The answer to that is no, because Ghalinui doesn't call up youngsters, bro. He's not gonna call him up. Is he ready for a call up too? I wouldn't. I mean, you can call him up. I wouldn't necessarily play him. Then again, he had a really good under 17 World Cup. I think he was like one of the highest rated players in that tournament too. Same goes for Nima Andos. He was very good. Now in Spain, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, I think the only U17 player that actually did get called up was Ashraf Shakiri, right, the goalkeeper, um, who came in.
Yeah, I think it was just him.
Yeah, he got called
Was
up.
called up.
Never had a single minute, but yeah, it's sad because these guys deserve something, and they're just not going to. Actually, fun fact about Razarenia, he was also close to joining Leganes. But he sounds like that sounds like an Italian name. What type of Iranian name is Razarenia? That's so funny. The guy sounds Italian, but yeah, he was actually this close of joining Leganes, but his agent got greedy and wanted more money, so he chose an Iranian club, Golgohar, over Leganes, which
Yeah,
tells
to
you
be fair to him, he's been playing really well. But yeah, obviously, like you said, a move to Leganes would have been way better. So our good friend um, Nick wants me to shave my head. We had a deal. We had a deal. And please don't like the stream, guys. Please. Anyways, he also wants to take down that Gamba scarf. Kenta.
You're muted, bro.
I'm muted. None of these scarves are coming down. If you want a scarf to go up here in a place, send me a scarf. That's all I'll say. And they have to be J League scarves. This is a J League wall.
Well,
Do you have
For now, this Gamba scarf.
eggs?
That's not a J League scarf, man. What are we
Wait,
talking
give me a
about?
second.
But why not, bro? Just put them in. Just put them there, man. For let's just.
I've got two, one for each of you.
I'm good. Respectfully, actually no, disrespectfully. Fuck you. I don't want that shit. I don't want that
Hey,
stuff.
I'd be careful what you're saying because we have FB games here, FB7 games. Who's a Shabab Al Ahly fan? And he said,
I have nothing against Shabab Al Ali. There's one guy that I have something against, and his name is Osmoon. That's the guy I have something against. What are you doing, man? Like you.
Best national team
Okay,
player for
yeah.
Kenta, what would you do if Ayase Ueda suddenly tomorrow is like, you know what, fuck it, I don't want to play in Europe anymore. I'm just going to go play in the third division in Bangladesh. What would you do? Would you be happy?
We'd pick up a different striker and not keep playing him.
Exactly, but we're not doing that because we don't.
So
have
that
the
doesn't
balls,
seem like
bro.
an Osmond problem. That sounds like your management problem. You're
Nah,
upset at the wrong
No,
person.
but wouldn't you?
You're upset at the wrong person.
Wouldn't you have something against Osmoon or not Osmoon? Ueda, like, what the hell are you doing? You're a good player. You're good enough for Europe. Challenge yourself.
No.
That's
Hello?
crazy.
Oh,
No.
Yes, we
Yeah.
can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah. Mitoma
I
is
don't know
not
what
starting
happened
for
for a second
Breaking
there.
today. It's a shame.
Oops. What happened here?
Erfan, what the hell are you doing?
Okay. I don't know what happened there for a second. I wanted to go back to the Wikipedia page. Anyways, so yeah, Osman is the best player of the world. It's debatable. Debatable. Arya, are you gonna let this slide?
Arya would be a 4
Alright.
foot 11 comedic character. I mean, you don't
In the
even know
anime.
what my height is. Nobody here knows what my height
In the
is.
anime. I feel like that's a fairly
Yeah.
accurate description of what Arya would be like drawn as if we didn't if we did an Asian football show anime.
Okay.
Because Kai's so tall, so you wanna give like the difference in height, you know? If we're gonna draw you guys next to each other, there needs to be like a.
What the hell am I listening to, bro? No.
Okay. So yeah, I think we should wrap up the Asian Cup. Oh, Shayan is here. Our
The
good
Asian
friend
Cup. All right,
Shayan.
to conclude the Asian Cup, I think Iran were robbed off. I think we're the best country in the world. Osman sucks. Anyway, out. Is there anything else I would like to add? Cheshmi sucks as well. I think that's what I have to say.
Okay, calm down before I cut off your internet again. Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah. No. Before we actually end off, I want to show some cool souvenirs I got while I was in Qatar. So there's this bag, which is very cool, and um, I've got this Asian Cup notebook, which
That's it.
I use. Yeah, I use when I go to press conferences to keep track
Oh,
of
look
the
at me!
quotes.
Look at me! I'm an AFC journalist.
Thank you, Arya. Anyway, moving on. Oh yeah, this was my media pass in Qatar. There was a really cool pen they gave me. I'm not sure where it is now. I think I've lost it. Okay, no, there it is. So here, it has a little Asian cup on the back,
Oh, that's cool.
and then there's this badge as well.
Stick that
So
into
yeah,
stick that into the Iran kit and say you won the Asian Cup, bro.
what? Oh yeah.
Like, yes.
Kyle would be claiming that in no time. Okay,
Oh
so
yeah, guys. By the way,
SP7 game. Don't do
we're
that.
at 18 likes right now. At 100, we're not gonna get 100 likes. But let's just, if anyone has any spare accounts, like make accounts at 100 likes on the stream, Erfan right here is gonna shave his head. And this is dead ass. Like we're being serious. No trolling. So if somehow
Don't
this
do that,
stream
please.
reaches 100 likes, this guy is going.
We're 80 away at this
We're
point.
80. Oh, we're 20.
We're at
20.
19.
Oh,
So
19.
I mean,
Guys,
Oh my
everybody
God.
like the stream right
No,
now.
please
at this
stop,
moment.
please.
Yeah.
Yes, listen to Shayan. Don't like the stream. Thank you.
see, no.
Anyways,
Oh, yeah,
Nick, tell
everyone
our
that
fun that
he's
he's
in
in
college
college
now.
now.
We
He
have
has
to
to stop.
stop trusting Wiki for everything. Yeah, bro. I keep forgetting Nick is a professor, right? So like using Wikipedia in front of him must be considered as a crime. So I think you should keep using Wikipedia just to piss him even more.
I was okay. Nah, we're.
So Armin wants me to wear an Estagol kit. I do have one, but since we're all going with the kits that we don't necessarily like,
No, we don't
except for
necessarily
Kenta.
like. I fucking hate my kit. It's not I don't like my kit. I hate my kit. I don't want to put this kit. If I had the option to burn it, I wouldn't because that would be bad for the environment. Guys, you have to be smart. But I don't like my kit. Like, what is this? Why? It's a cool kit, but the guy behind is horrible. He's wank. He sucks.
Thank you, Kenta. Thank you for doing this. You saved me.
What?
Shayan said if Kenta responded to me, I would like.
I responded to you. What do you mean? I responded to you the first 2 times. What are we talking about?
Kenta's the worst.
It's just a US guy. All right, okay. Before I asked the other 2 hosts here what I should wear for a kit, and they just didn't give me an answer. They never told me which. I sent them a picture.
We said bring the worst kit that you have. What does
I didn't know what that was. I asked you guys.
No, I'm not accepting.
I have too many. What do you mean?
I tell this guy, send me wear your worst kit. This guy goes, pick one. This is the picture he gives me. What am I supposed to do with this picture? I can see 2 kids. 2 kids. What do you mean pick one? Pick one what? Why is Uzbek Cheshmi on the screen? What's going on?
No, I want to look at this. Metin said, Erfan, there's nothing wrong with being bald. Look at King Cheshmi. And I want to say he's right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being bald.
I always wondered, was he ever able to bring that back to Iran? Because this is a Budweiser. It's it's alcohol themed. Was he
No. So for Muslim players, I think it's just Coca-Cola. It's not Budweiser. So.
Okay. There's the sponsors.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. That makes more sense.
Wait 1 second. Nick said Kenta cursed Arsenal and Brighton the same week.
Yes, sir, he did.
Okay, I would like to mention the fact that Micah Hamano also has been ghosting ever since I went to London. So, Arya, you're not safe from this conversation. But yeah, I went to London and neither of those teams did well. So
she dropped back-to-back stinkers, bro. Back-to-back stinkers.
Anything but the USMNT. All my homies hate the USMNT.
That's guys. No comment. I don't want to talk about another national team because I think we're all equal. I think, yeah. Passport.
Oh my god!
Holy moly!
Oh my god! Yeah, I think I should hide that. Okay.
Why is Kenta writing in the chat, brother? You're in the stream.
I have an ability to write in the chat right here from the stream. I don't have to have it on a separate thing. It's already right here.
Can I?
You can connect your YouTube so you can comment in the stream chat while you're on. We're using StreamYard for the first time here. Yes. Okay. So that's part of the thing we're trying to.
My sources told me that if Cheshmi somehow doesn't get called in March, it's because he's been cast as the next Batman. He can do it all, man. Just look at his face. Kenta moment.
Yeah, that's a classic.
Okay. Yeah. So we're done with the Asian Cup. Wait 1 second. Before we move on, so Aramin, I think it was, he wanted to know about the U20 Asian Cup. We'll get onto that later. It's part of our agenda. Okay. Who is the player that didn't play well? So I'm guessing he means at the Asian Cup. I think it has to be Taremi, to be honest. We expected so much more from him at the Asian Cup. And the only game where he did decently was the one against the UAE. So.
But was he the worst player? He wasn't the worst player at the Asian Cup, though. I think that's kind of hard.
I think he's the player where we expected the most from.
Yeah.
But didn't show up. Yeah.
Zion Suzuki. I'm not going to even pretend to entertain this.
Yeah.
Was one of the worst players.
I don't think he was he wasn't good. He wasn't bad.
Zion Suzuki was horrible at the Asian Cup. I'm not. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't blame Japan getting knocked out on him.
No,
I mean,
no, but he was.
Yeah, but yeah, he was horrible. I agree. Okay, I want everyone's opinion on Shaya Nurfashan.
Fucking terrible fucking YouTuber. I'm kidding, guys. Sean's is a good friend of the channel, good friend of mine as well. Go subscribe to him. He does good content. He's a sexy man as well.
Amazing Asian football content.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah, awesome MLS content there with the Sounders. Good stuff over there. So, yeah.
Okay, so we're finally done with the Asian Cup. I say let's quickly go over the Olympic Games. So both the men's and women's one. So
Oh
let me
man,
just
that
bring up.
that feels so ancient, man.
Yeah, I
God.
mean this year feels very long. Okay, so I'll just share the screen real quick. Um, Give me a second. Okay. Um,
I
so we
mean,
had
men-wise, I think the only thing that we can really talk about it, I think Japan was the only good team in that Olympic game. I think Uzbekistan was last. I think Iraq was last, and then that's it,
Mhm.
right? I think those were the only. Well, there's also Japan who finished first. So I think the real team to talk about here would be Japan. The rest didn't really do well. Um, so
yeah. I mean, I expected more from Iraq because they were actually in a very favorable group, I'd say. But and even though they started well against Ukraine, Ali Jassim and Ayman Hussein getting the goals, they're two main men. But yeah, they lost to Argentina and a very bad loss to Iraq. And they got knocked. I mean, Morocco, and they got knocked out. Same with Uzbekistan. They played really well against Spain. They're very unlucky to not get a point there. But yeah, just only a draw against the Dominican Republic and a loss to Uzbekistan. But yeah, the team to talk about here is Japan, like you said. So Kenta, talk me through the Olympics and what you thought of Japan's performance.
Yeah, 3 wins in 3 matches in the group stage, and then a 3-0 loss to Spain in the first round of the knockouts. Uh, yeah, I thought there was a lot of good players to come out of it. I thought Kokubo looked really good in goal. Hosoya had the goal in the third match. Joachim Fujita played well, right? You look at a lot of the players. I think Fujio had a brace in the first game, and Mito Shota also had a brace. So I think you look at the players that played. I think a lot of them had really good performances in the group stage, but that 3-0 loss
Sanfilippo,
against Spain was not
my
particularly close.
guy, my guy. I love that guy. He's so good, man.
Yeah, but that 3-0 loss against Spain was not even particularly close. So
It was expected. I mean, Spain, to be fair, they won the
yeah,
gold medal at the end as well. So it was a bit unlucky, not a bit, very unlucky that they played Spain in the next round, considering that they did top the group.
yeah, because
Um,
Spain didn't win their
so
group,
yeah,
which was the surprising one there. And
yeah,
for the first
Egypt
like
won their
60
group.
minutes, it was close. It was a close match, 60 minutes in, but it certainly fell apart in the second half. Uh, yeah, just 2 goals late conceded, and that's all she
Yeah,
wrote.
yeah, and quickly moving on to the women's tournament, Japan and Australia were AFC's representatives here.
All I'm saying is,
Australia,
all I'm saying
yeah,
is, if Micah Hamano started every game, Japan would have won the whole thing. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. And you guys are not ready for that conversation.
man, can we talk about this Australia-Zambia game? 6-5. Oh my God, what a game that was.
Yeah, it's a big game.
It's- Yeah, so Japan, like their men's counterpart, they reached the quarterfinals of this tournament and they lost to the USA in the extra time. Um, so Kenta, take us through the women's side.
Yeah, so first match they in the group stage they lost to Spain 2-1, and then they had the 2 wins, the win against Brazil and of course the iconic Marta, and then they went on to win 3-1 against Nigeria in the final match day of that group stage to make it to the knockouts where they were matched up against the U.S. These two national teams have had quite the history over the last 15 years, you would say, right? Whether that's the multiple World Cup appearances that they've had in the women's competition.
I would say more than 15 years, but
Yeah,
yeah.
it's specifically in the last 15, it's been pretty intense. But yes, sure. Trinity Rodman, who is one of my favorite players on the U.S. Women's National Team, a team that I've been covering over here in the States, scored the winner in first half stoppage time from just a ridiculous angle, and they went on to win, which is a common thread for I guess both these national teams to lose in the first round of the knockouts and to have that team win the whole tournament. But yeah, that team for the U.S. was just ridiculous. The triple espresso front three of Sophia Smith, Mallory Swanson, and Trinity Rodman. Naomi Gurma's one of the best defenders in the world. You go through that entire roster. They're just so good. So hats off to the U.S. And their coach. It was one of the first matches for Emma Hayes as their new head coach, former Chelsea women's coach and Ballon d'Or women's coach of the year. So tough task. I thought they played really well. Japan did, but yeah, Trin was able to find that winner in the first stoppage time of extra time, and that's all they wrote for Japan at the Olympics.
So Nick has something to say about Japan. This team can burn in hell. Kaito Suzuki, how dare you ignoring me in Doha with a dribble shit shared pitch side? Glad we sold your God. Nick is a professor, by the way. So yeah, just letting you guys know. Anyways, Derek Rose wants us to talk about Indonesia. We talked about Indonesia already.
Yo, Derek Rose, man, what's up?
That might be one of the funniest sentences ever spoken on this channel. Derek Rose wants us to talk about Indonesia.
You know who Derek Rose is? He's a professional basketball player.
Okay. I have no idea.
Former MVP
basketball.
with the Bulls before he got hurt. Yeah, one of the best out there. One of the best guards out there.
We talked Indonesia towards the beginning of the stream. I mean, Kenta specifically had lots of positive things to say. He was calling Indonesia the breakout team for AFC, in which I do agree in some ways. Yeah, I mean, Indonesia, incredible progress, man. I think what the federation is doing seems to be working, and exciting times ahead. That's really it.
Yeah, and before we move on, so I don't really know much about basketball, but I actually have a lot of Chicago Bulls stuff. So I have a hoodie, I have some pants for Chicago Bulls. So yeah, let me know, how are they? Are they like a good team or what?
Did he just ask if the Chicago Bulls are good right now? Is that the question you're just asking me?
I don't follow basketball at all.
Okay. So. Okay. The Bulls are they're not that good.
Okay, let's move on.
They're better than my team. To be fair, they're better than my team. But yeah, we're not going to touch on the Utah Jazz. We're not going to start that conversation. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to talk about the U20 and U17 Women's World Cup. Both of them won by an Asian nation, North Korea. So. We've talked about this in the podcast before, but it's just an insane achievement, to be honest, for them to come back after a long time into international football and for them to win 2 World Cups. Insane. In the U17, U20 World Cup, we even had an all-Asian final between Japan and North Korea. So yeah, what do you guys think?
I made a whole video on it. I kind of went in depth on what's going on. I mean, there's not tons that we can base ourselves. I mean, it is North Korea. It's not like we have exclusive inside access of the national team like we do with the other nations, with all due respect. But they're clearly doing something, and it's working. It's funny in some ways. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like when North Korea played against the U.S., I mean, the USA audience was like, "What the hell? Like North Korea has a freaking national team? That's a thing." and they ended up beating them as well. It's
twice, by the way.
It's twice. That's crazy.
U17 as well.
That's just sick. I don't have much to say other than that. It's just sick. It's refreshing. It's nice to see. It's funny as well because regarding the whole circumstances, but it's cool.
Yeah. What about you, Kenta? Okay, moving aside from North Korea, Japan also made the knockout stages in both tournaments. They lost to England on penalties at the U17 Women's World Cup. What's up with Japan on penalties? Are they just like they don't like penalty shootouts? Because I can swear they're losing all of them.
Who knows, man? The Japanese. I have never been that confident in a Japanese player taking a penalty in my entire life. But at the same time, like Japan, when they won the Women's World Cup, that was against the U.S. in penalties. So I guess it's not a.
Erfan was 5 years old when that World Cup was a thing. So he doesn't know.
Thank you.
He has
Thank
no
you
idea
for
what
the
you're talking about. He was too young for that World Cup, bro.
Well, anyway, Japan won a Women's World Cup in a while ago, right? Over 10 years ago, and they won that on pens against the U.S. Women's National Team. So I mean, there theoretically should be pedigree there, and penalties are. I don't know if it's just Japanese players aren't good under pressure. I don't know what it is, but we saw that the World Cup against in the Men's World Cup in 2022 in Qatar. We see it here. We just it's not great. It's not a great look. But yeah, I thought going back to the U20 World Cup, I thought Japan played really well. Obviously had that big win against Spain in the quarters. I thought that was kind of the big match of their run to the final. 102nd minute goal by Yoneda. Very good performance there, and then they beat the Dutch 2-0 and then lose in the final. But yeah, overall it's a really promising sign because their women's team is kind of had a stretch for the last 5 years where they weren't as good as they were in the early 2010s, and we're seeing them kind of improve a little bit with the younger players coming in, including of course Maika Hamano. But it's refreshing to see that the under 20 and under 17 teams are still competing at a high level and at these international competitions.
Yeah. So yeah, big up North Korea and Japan as well. They've been doing really well. But I want to move on to another World Cup. Well, it's actually two World Cups. The Futsal World Cup and the Beach Soccer World Cup. We'll go through this quick, but I want to show an Asian football show. Okay, before we move on, so Apple wants us to name the best Asia 11. I think that would take a long time, and
We should do that
I think we
later.
could do we could either push that for later when we're done with everything if we have time. But I think our friend Shayan, we mentioned him earlier, he's working on a project like that. So
Yeah.
look out on his channel for that. So anyways, I want to move on to an Asian football show classic, a plus 25 goal difference by Brazil at the Futsal World Cup. I mean, this was insane. We talked about this.
Should I do it again?
Yeah, do it again, Arya, please.
All right, man. Guys, I just want you to close your eyes for a few seconds. So I want everyone to close your eyes, okay? And imagine this. You're at a World Cup, all right? Biggest players in the world, all right? You're Brazil, there's Thailand, Croatia, Cuba, right? You'd expect Brazil to win, right? It's Brazil, right? These guys have good players. A plus 25 goal difference, blood. What are you doing? What do you mean plus? Look at Cuba, minus 22. None of those teams have a positive goal difference except for plus 25. 10-0. 10-0 is the first game. Can you go down? I need to analyze this again. 10-0, 8-1, and then 9-1. That's insane.
You know how crazy it is when Thailand won 10-5 and Croatia won 7-0, but they're still on negative goal difference?
That's
you know how much
crazy,
that says?
bro. That's crazy. But that just shows you futsal, man. It's a unique sport. If you guys haven't actually watched a futsal, I can't speak. If you guys can't, what is going on? I just lost the ability to speak English for a second. That's how much the plus 25 goal difference affects me personally. It really deeply affects me. If you guys have never watched a futsal game, I'd suggest you to do so. Especially, I think the Asian Cup is coming up soon, if I'm not mistaken.
It is, yes, yeah.
Guys, just give it.
We also have the women's World Cup, Futsal World Cup, first edition is taking
give
place
it, give
in the
it, give it a
Philippines,
watch.
I think, for the
And
first time.
it's not even like it doesn't even take that much time. Give it a watch. You'll see how it is. It's pretty entertaining, man. It's pretty cool. And then when you have like 10-1 games with a plus 25 goal differences, it's even better. So
Yeah. So I think the big disappointment of this tournament was obviously Uzbekistan. As the hosts, and they had a relatively easy group. I'd say they only got a single point. And I would say the surprise of this tournament was Afghanistan, for the Asian side at least. Um, and yeah, I mean, Iran obviously topped their group, and they're a powerhouse in this sport. But yeah, anyways, let's go through the knockout stages. 1 second. Yeah. So yeah, here's the bracket. What the hell happened? Sorry. Okay. So as we can see, Iran lost to Morocco in the round of 16. This was a very heartbreaking game. So what happened here was Iran had a penalty. So there's two types of penalties in futsal. There's the penalty from the first spot, which is closer, and then there's a second spot, which is a bit further away. Anyways, Iran had a penalty with 0 seconds left on the clock, and they could have equalized. But yeah, in true Iran bottling fashion, um, the penalty hit the bar, the post. So yeah, that was very, very sad. Afghanistan also lost to Paraguay 3-1 in extra time. They played well in this tournament, and considering it was their first ever appearance in not only the World Cup but the Asian Cup even before that. So yeah, props to them. But yeah, other than that, we had no Japan, which was very interesting. And they got knocked out in the group stages, so they're usually considered a powerhouse as well. But yeah, they didn't even make the tournament. So before we move on to beach soccer, Arya, can we hear that one more time?
how many goals? How many goals did they score? They scored 5-0 against Costa Rica. That's 5, 8, 9, 11. But they conceded way more. They actually conceded. Oh shit! They actually conceded in the knockout stages. That's special. Plus 25, bro. Plus 25. They conceded only twice. Only twice. That's an insane goal difference. What the hell, man? I don't know.
Okay. Okay, so moving on to the other World Cup, the Beach Soccer World Cup took place in the UAE. No plus 25 goal differences here, unfortunately. But yeah, so in Group A, the hosts UAE, they qualified alongside Italy. Iran also won all three of their games. They qualified alongside Tahiti, eliminating both Argentina and Spain. And then in Group C, Japan also qualified, and in Group D, Oman missed out because they lost to Portugal in the last match day. So we could have had four Asian teams in the quarterfinals, but unfortunately, Oman didn't make it. And then, yeah, as you can see here, Iran got bronze for the second time, and yeah. Arya, did you watch this tournament?
Yes, I did. I did. I was watching it with my dad as well. I don't know. We were just interested in it. It's like the first time that I've properly watched a beach soccer tournament. We're a good side, man. Like, geez, and like,
Yeah.
I was surprised. I'm like, oh shit, like we're really good. And I remember that Brazil game. We were actually winning against them at some point, weren't we? And then they just
2-0. We were winning 2-0.
We were
Yeah.
winning 2-0, and he just came out of nowhere with the comeback and then
Yeah.
won the game.
And
So
again, in true Iran fashion, we hit
yeah,
the bar in the last
let's
minute. So.
go, let's go. But yeah, it's
Uh,
bronze medal. That's sick in a World Cup. That's cool.
yeah. And Kenta, Japan also made the quarters. I'm not sure if you watched this tournament. Did you?
I can't say that I did. No.
Okay, but I was at that Brazil-Japan game, and Japan actually played really well, but they got their momentum towards the end, so it was already too late for them, and they got eliminated. Um, but yeah, so yeah, Iran are a powerhouse in beach soccer. The next World Cup is actually in 2025. It'll be in the Seychelles, I think. Yeah. So we don't even have to wait too long. It'll be held in May, which is like 5 months away. So excited for that. Um, so moving on, I think we're gonna move on to last season's AFC Champions League and AFC Cup. So I'll start with AFC Cup. We'll just go through it really quick. So the Central Coast Mariners of Australia won that competition, and let me just bring up the bracket. So this was the last edition of the AFC Cup before we got all the rebranding. Yeah, here. Okay. Um, so anything you guys want to add on the AFC Cup?
No. No,
No.
not really.
I think that's why they rebranded it because it wasn't really exciting. Obviously, yeah, we got to see the smaller nations compete, but um, there wasn't that hype needed, and yeah, it felt like it was an amateur tournament. Kenta, do you agree?
Yeah, I don't think there was a single Japanese side in that competition that year, if I remember correctly.
There was never any Japanese side, yeah.
Yeah. So for me,
Yeah,
it was never
until this.
one that I focused on.
Yeah, but Al Ain though, I want to talk about Al Ain. They won the AFC Champions League last season, and beating the Saudi giants in Al Nassr and Al Hilal. Uh, Sofyan Rahimi made a name for himself uh, that season. Uh, Best player of the tournament, which was very much deserved. Yokohama were a team who made the finals from the east side. Um, Kenta, take me through Yokohama that season and how they dropped off drastically since then.
Yeah, Yokohama F. Marinos, they had a really good run. They beat Ulsan HD or Ulsan Hyundai in that semi or that Eastern Conference final to make it to the final stage. Overall, I thought they had a really good run in the competition, but you're seeing now like they just aren't as good this year, or this since that summer they haven't been as good. You look at how they performed in the J League as a whole. They finished right around mid-table, which I guess is kind of not that surprising when you have the extra matches, right? That's more matches, more minutes that you have to manage across the board. And early part of the season, that's really tough for some of these. Like J League right now is still a winter to winter, not a fall to spring kind of a season. So in that sense, it's a tough gig to do well in these kind of international competitions. And I thought they did really well, and I would expect them to be back there really well run as an organization and as a club. So I think they'll be back, but they just didn't play that well in the second half of the year, and I think that's kind of to be expected.
Yeah, I want to ask you about um, the Iranian club's performances. So the only Iranian club who made the knockouts were Sepahan, and they were playing against Al Hilal. The big Asian team. They won the competition 4 times before. So it was a big game. They took the lead in both the home and away games, but it was that period where they just kept on getting red cards and were going down to 10 players every game. So yeah, they ultimately lost the tie. What do you think? What do you think of Sepahan that year?
I think they. I mean, yeah, like you said, compared to the Al Hilal team, it's on paper, it's a worse team, but I think it's a mentality issue again. I remember it wasn't the first game or the second game. Who got that red card? I don't remember who it was. Do you remember who it was? Was it?
Was it
Was it
Yazdani or
Yazdani? It was
Yazdani?
Yazdani. And then like he
Yes.
got the red card, and then he was looking at the crowd and he was doing like the sign of like, "Oh, we're still winning." What
Yeah,
the
he did
fuck
the
are you
one
doing?
0
Yeah, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing, bro? What are you doing?" And they lost the game after that. It's like, what are you guys doing, bro? But I think considering, they're not as good of a team on paper, I think they kind of held their own. But, when you're playing against Al Hilal, that time had Mitrovic, Malcolm, Aldasari. Neves. Who else did they have? Like, it's hard to
Jacques
play them.
Cancelo,
Yeah, like,
Lodi.
it's hard,
Yeah.
man. It's very very hard. So I'm still. I wouldn't say they had a great tournament, but like I'm not surprised they lost against Al Hilal. Like it was to be expected. Um, yeah.
Yeah. You know who were disappointing though?
Yeah. Well, you're happy with that.
Yeah. So yeah, after these tournaments ended, uh, everything got
Wait, actually,
rebranded, and
I want to give a special shout out to Nasaji Mazandaran, a team that shouldn't even freaking be in the AFC Champions League to begin with. And they finished third. I mean, yeah, I mean they're not a good team, but they still got 2 wins out of that, which I think was still kind of cool. I mean,
yeah,
can
they,
make
they
them
they didn't
out.
even get to play in their home stadium. They had to play
Yeah,
in Tehran.
for people who like have no idea who like Nasaji Mazandaran is, like what team would you compare it to in like in a European side? Like they're not a good team. Um, so
I'd say they're like your what do you even say this? Like I can't think of a team to compare them to. Ipswich in the Premier League, maybe something
yeah,
like that.
No, no, no. That
they're
is
like
not a
12th
fair
they're like
comparison.
12th in the league
Whoa.
right now. They're like 12th in the league right now. So like they're not like
Yeah, they're
a
they're
good
usually
team.
battling for relegation. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it would be like
uh,
it would be like an Everton or a Wolves. Like a
Everton,
mid-table
yes.
to like a below mid-table team, like Everton in particular.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think
Yeah,
that would be
I
a
don't
better
think they even
comparison.
ever finished above like eighth or ninth, but they won the cup a few seasons ago. So yeah, that's why they played at the competition. But yeah, props to them for yeah. They only lost 2-1 to Al Hilal away, by the way, and yeah, they scored a screamer that game as well. I think it was Qad Rahmati who scored there. But yeah, so props to them, and thanks for mentioning that, Arya. But yeah, after that, so moving on to this season, all the Asian club competitions were rebranded. We got the AFCL Elite and the ACL 2. And it's basically a league stage similar to the European Champions League, which is now divided into a league stage. Um, so yeah, as you can see on the screen right now, this is the table for the West side. The Saudi teams are like, oh my god, they're just on a different level. First, second, and third already guaranteed qualification, as well as Assad from Qatar and Al Wasl of the UAE. So there's 3 spots left. Uh, right now they're taken up by Persepolis, Al Rayyan, and Istiqlal. But there's still 2 games left in February, and only 3 points, 4 points separate last place and sixth place.
Yeah,
So
that's gonna be a
anything is
very fun
possible.
match day. That's gonna be a very fun match day because you're gonna see like
Yeah,
everything just go all in. Um, yeah,
yeah,
Al Ain
uh,
is very very disappointing. For them to have 2 points is crazy.
yeah. They only got 2 points against Partakor and Assad. They lost against Al Gharrafa. They lost against Hilal, Al Ahli, Al Nasr. Very disappointing for defending champions. And I think they lost today in the UAE League Cup as well. So they've just been having a bad season overall.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, Persepolis, who are sixth right now, they have to play away to Al Hilal and at home to Al Nasr. So they have very hard games coming up. Esteghlal, on the other hand, um, they're playing against Ashorta at home and Aryan away, so more favorable games for them. Um, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Moving on to the east side. Oh, I'm going to make the joke again, guys. Are you guys ready?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Okay, I'll let it slide for now. I'll keep it for another time. So in the east side, we actually have no team that guaranteed their spot yet. I mean, just look at this. In the east side, the 10th place team has 7 points, while in the west side, the sixth place team only has 6 points. So there's a big gap of point differences there. Um, but Kenta, I guess I'll let you talk about the Japanese sides the tournament. I mean, they've been doing well so far, as we can see.
Yeah, I mean, none of them got off to particularly good starts. You go back to match day 1. I think Vissel Kobe had a 0-0 draw. Yokohama F. Marinos got blown out by Gwangju. And I guess did Kawasaki Frontale win on their first match day? So I guess JDT was against Ulsan. They played a Korean team, and I think they won. I think they barely won.
Here's the match
Yeah,
day.
they beat Ulsan, which is not surprising looking at the table nowadays. Yeah, but they've rebounded, and I think all three of these teams have enough quality to advance. I do, and they're in favorable areas of the table, of course, first, third, and fourth, right? So I they've been playing well. I think they could be playing better, but it doesn't really matter as long as you make it to the knockout stage, right? So I think they're on the right track. Can't say the same thing about a particular Korean team, but yeah.
Yes.
Just make the joke. Let's just get it over with, man. Just do it.
Also on SD. Okay.
Guys.
Anyways, so a Korean team that is doing well on their other hand, Gwangju FC, um, their first ever appearance at an AFC Champions League, and their second in the league as of now. They have Jasir Asani, who's been playing phenomenally for them, and he's been scoring left, right, and center. And yeah, I think it's safe to say that the Japanese teams as well as Gonju are gonna make the knockout stages. Central Coast, by the way, wow, one draw in 6 games, very bad, very poor season for them. I think this shows how the A League has kind of dipped, and I don't think they'll be having any spots in this competition if they continue this. What do you guys think?
Well, Central Coast haven't been playing well in their domestic league either. They're close to the bottom of the table. And I guess the same could also be saying about Guangzhou, which is funny because Ulsan HD is still at the top of the table in the K League right now. But I guess, yeah, Central Coast. I don't know what to make of them, because they have not played well at all. I mean, really at all. But I also think Ulsan's been playing worse. So go figure.
I mean, I would say that it doesn't matter any Australian side. I don't think they'd be doing much better than them. Yeah, maybe they'd have a win or two, but I don't see them keeping up with the standards of the Japanese league or the Korean league or the Chinese league and maybe even the Thai league. But yeah, there's some big question marks around Australia domestic football. So the second tier competition, on the other hand, we'll just go through this real quick. So in the West region, in Group A, there was this big. I don't know what to say even. Basically, Mohun Bagan have been considered withdrawn after they refused to travel to Iran to play against Tractor. So I'm not going to talk much about that because I know my Indian friends aren't very happy about it. But yeah, Tractor just dominated. Hossein Zadeh has been playing very well.
Little stats. Little stats.
What?
8.38. I think he's rated the highest in the whole competition, isn't he?
Yeah, and he has the most goals as well, even though he played 2 less games than the other teams. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
he's doing really well. Yeah, in Group B, Al Tawan of Saudi and Al Khadiyah of Bahrain qualified. I want to talk about a funny story. So Al Qawal Jawiya or Air Force of Iraq, um, before their final match day, all the foreign players just left the country, and that kind of ruined the spirit of the team, and it made them lose in the final match day, and it was very sad to see. I'm not sure what the whole story is there, but yeah. Oh my God, Group C. Arya, would you like to talk about Safahan? Here.
Just Sapahan's weird, man. Like, I mean, they've gone through managerial change, right? Let me just pull up their games on my phone. I want to make sure I know what I'm talking about before blindly starting to roast them. It's weird, bro. It's weird. Yeah, it's. Who did they play? They played Sharjah. They played. Who did they play recently? I think they got 2 wins against. Was it? So they won against Sharjah. They won against Istiklal. They drew against Al Wehdat, and so they won both 2 games against Istiklal, and then won the other one against Al Wehdat, right? Or no, sorry, Sharjah, right? That's cool.
Yeah, sure.
That's cool. But then compare them to the other games that they played. I think the recent one was the 1-1. If I'm not mistaken, they barely got eliminated, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was very unlucky, to be fair, I'd say. The fact that there is no VAR at this stage, I'm
Yes,
going to say,
exactly.
is
That's what I
just
wanted to talk about.
disgraceful.
But I think they kind of got robbed off that. I think it was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Steven and
Al
Zonzi.
Wahdat game.
I don't remember exactly what happened. I had an exam that day, so I was like, I wasn't really paying attention. But I remember the group chat, the Asian group chat, going crazy over that. But hey, man, we'll see. And then Shabab Al Ali. Speaking of the devil, Sadar Azmoun is doing pretty well for them. I fucking wonder why, huh?
Anyways, also shout out to Jordanian clubs, Al Wahdat and Al Hussein.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They have the most teams alongside the UAE and some other countries in the knockout stages. So yeah, big up them. In the East region, Sanfrecce Hiroshima dominated their group. Kenta, will you
I
take
have,
us
I have
through
a
that?
bone to pick with Sanfrecce Hiroshima right now. They took our best player. I'm a Shonan Milmari supporter, and they took our best player, 22-year midfielder Tanaka Satoshi. First of all, what a talent! What a ridiculously good season he had for us. Probably the only reason we're not relegated. We play this weird like 3-3-2-2 or like a 5-1-2-2 form. Basically, we have one holding midfielder and no one around him. And he's been that holding midfielder. He played phenomenally this past season. Sanfrecce Hiroshima just took him, just like they did Yuki Ohashi earlier in the year. And then they sold him to Blackburn Rovers a half month later, right? Or not half a year later. Just really upset about that. But yeah, all this to say, Hiroshima have been playing very well. Didn't lose in the group stage, and yeah, they still look really good. And I would expect them to continue that. They have too much talent, I think, on that roster right now to not be dominating, not playing well in this competition.
Yo, what's up, Arya? So Arya Alaverdi is here from me and Arya's friend on Golbazan. Very, very happy that you're here. Obviously, who is the better Arya? Is it Arya Alaverdi or our Arya? I don't know. That's up for you guys to decide.
That's crazy,
I'm
bro.
sure we have our opinions.
They act like both. They act like both cannot coexist, bro.
Anyways, before we continue, so Ryan here asked a question. Erfan, if Gandhipur scores against Fulad, he'll be tied for the most amount of goals scored under 19, tied with Haj Sefi. If not, he will turn 19 years old on 20th and remain tied for second. I mean, yeah, that's just a fact. So I'm not sure I'm not sure if there's a question there, but yeah, Gandhipur is a good player, and
Shout
he's
out to
been
Andy.
playing
This
very well
one's
there.
like, yeah, he's 18, freaking destroying the PGPL, and he's another striker that I think should eventually get called up for a national team, but that's a different conversation for another day.
Arya, look what our friend said.
I'm the better looking. Yay. No, I'm kidding. You're good looking yourself, but what are you talking about? What is this? No, man, we're both good looking. Okay, why? Okay, this is
The Arya love.
This is getting weird. This is getting weird.
Armin said we love Gandhipur. Yes,
Yeah,
we
very
really
good
do.
player.
And hopefully he can get called up if some fat manager, which I'm not going to mention their name, if they agree with us.
Fat manager.
I'm not going to mention any names, but some fat manager who manages the national team.
Ardeshir Illinois. I said it.
If he stops eating his kebab and looks at the games, maybe he can get called up.
Oh god.
Anyways, yeah, moving on. Lion City Sailors and Port from Group F, Bangkok United and Namdeen in Group G, as well as Jeonbuk and Momsong from Group H qualified for the knockouts. So yeah, oops, 1 second. Here is the bracket for the knockouts, and I'm going to be completely unbiased here. With the way Tractor have been playing, I think they can easily reach the semifinals or the final even.
I think for me, the 3 teams. I have 3 teams winning it. I think it's either between Sanfrecce Hiroshima, I think, I think Shakhtar's in there in that conversation too, and I'd also probably give it, unfortunately, to Shabab Al Ahly, which we're going to see Osmoon raising the cup. The guy's going to start posting that on Instagram, acting like he's just won the World Cup, and it's going to piss me off even more. Um, yeah, I think those three teams for me would be quote unquote the favorites for me.
Yeah, I agree. Al Tawan also and Sharjah are also good picks. But yeah, I think those three teams, one of them should win the title. Um, and we can expect a very good matchup in the quarterfinals between Shabab Al Ahly and Sharjah, all UAE sides. So yeah, look out for that one. Um, so unless there's anything else you guys want to add, I'm going to move on real quick to the Women's Champions League, um, which yeah. So I'll go straight to the knockouts. So the draw yet hasn't even been made yet. So yeah, so the teams that qualified for the quarterfinals are Orawara Diamonds of Japan, Melbourne City, Incheon Red Angels, Ho Chi Minh City, and then on the unseeded teams are Abu Dhabi Country Club, Bam Khatun, Wuhan, and the Taishang Bluewell. Um, so there's two West Asian sides here from Iran and UAE, my nations, and I'm really proud of both of these sides, especially Bam Khatun. I mean, I know Abu Dhabi has some foreign players, but Bam Khatun came into this with a completely domestic squad, and we obviously know the problems with the Iranian Federation and women and how limited they are, but they still managed to show up. They got through the preliminary round, and then in Group B they only lost 2-1 to Melbourne City, which was insane. I mean, Australian women's football is known to be one of the best in the world, and for them to do that and then to almost win against Kaya, they conceded a last-minute goal, and then win against the hosts to round it up. Perfect campaign for them, I would say. Arya, anything you want to talk about it?
Nah, you rounded that up pretty well. Nothing really.
So
Much to say.
Kenta, yeah, talk to me about Urawa. I mean, a plus 21 goal difference. Oh my God. In
That
football, by the way.
mostly came from
Not
one
even
match. They
futsal.
won 17-0 in the first match against Odisha. I'm not going to pretend to get into that match. When we went over this we recapped this. I noted how many different goal scorers there was for a 17-0 game. Yeah, you want to talk
11
about
different
25 goal
goals.
differential. How about 17-0 in a professional match? Yeah, it's we knew this. I think with Urawa Diamonds, their women's team going into it, just how good they've been in the Japanese league as well, in their domestic league, and I think the anticipation was there that they would dominate. But that first match was brutal, to say the least. It was
I
just
mean,
a complete.
you've got to feel sorry for Odisha. I mean, it's the first edition of the Women's Champions League, you know. Players are excited. You're traveling to Vietnam. And then for that to happen in the first game, I mean, that's got to just ruin your team.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. Honestly, I really can't imagine what that would feel like to be a player on that team. They
Yeah.
were more competitive in their other two matches, but you scored a goal in one of the
At least they
matches,
scored a goal.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I guess you're not going home empty-handed, but yeah, not
I
exactly.
mean, they are going home empty-handed, but
they go home with a point or a goal.
with a goal.
Not a point. Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
I mentioned earlier that 2024 was Jordan's year in Asian football. I would say the opposite award would probably go to India, unfortunately. Just very disappointing. From the Asian Cup towards the qualifiers and even the club competitions. But one of the positives, I would say, would be East Bengal. So I'll just bring up the Challenge League real quick. So this is the third tier Asian Cup competition. And
We're
yeah,
going deep into Asian football, man. Even I don't freaking recognize anything here. Like I'm looking at this, like, millions of question marks in my head.
yeah. So for the West region, East Bengal advanced to the knockout stages in Group A, and in Group B we had Arkadag and Al Arabi. So if you guys know Arkadag, they had this really funny story. So I think the club is owned by like president of the country's son or something like that. And yeah, they won like 50 something games in a row, and they won every game of their existence until the AFC Challenge League happened. Uh, so yeah, I'm not sure what's going on in Turkmenistan. There isn't really a proper source, no videos, but something very fishy going on over there.
Rigged.
Very. Asib, who previously won the AFC Cup, also qualified for the knockouts. And then from the East region, we had Shan United, Tainan City, Madura, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Qualified for the knockout stage. Kenta, can you pronounce this name?
I'm not gonna try.
Arya?
Yeah, fuck it.
Arya, yeah, let's do it.
Freya Khan Reach Sve Rieng Football Club.
Also known as Sveiring for short. Okay. Good
Wow.
to know that.
Cheers.
This is what you get with the Asian Football Show, guys. You'll not get this anywhere else.
Quality content
Quality
out here.
Okay, so moving on from club football, let's move on to the Gulf Cup and as well as the Southeast Asian Football Championships. So we'll start with the Gulf Cup, which is taking place in Kuwait currently.
They're both
and
currently.
Sorry, what?
I said they're both taking place currently. I just added that.
Yeah, they're both taking place currently. So yeah, starting with the Gulf Cup, I mean, wow. Just looking at that Group A tells you everything you need to know about this tournament.
There's a black
just very
screen
unpredictable.
there's a black screen on the stream. You can't
Really?
actually
Okay,
see.
one
Yeah.
second. Give me a second.
Technical difficulties, guys. Apologies. In the meantime, I will talk about how good of a player Kai Havertz
No,
is.
it's here.
He's
It's
amazing.
here. It's here.
Thank God.
Okay, yeah. Just looking at the table, I think it tells you everything about this tournament. Arya, tell me how disappointed you were in the UAE and Qatar.
I couldn't care less, to be honest with you. But I will say this. Oh, sorry. This is being recorded. Yeah, guys. Qatar and the UAE, they've been very disappointing. I mean, deserved on Qatar. They ruined our Asian Cup, so it's deserved. Thank God. The UAE, to be fair, I'm actually quite surprised that the UAE didn't do well. Qatar have kind of dipped in form, even in the qualifiers, so they're not like the best. The UAE, however, is, yeah, kind of, But yeah, good on Oman.
People want Paulo Bento to be sacked,
which is crazy. That's a crazy thing to say, but hey, it's understandable. I mean,
yeah,
that is not good.
Also, Kuwait turned into like prime Brazil during Gulf Cups, so this is like their tournament. I think they have like 10 championships, which is crazy. So yeah, even another disappointment is Iraq. I mean, just a 1-0 win against Yemen. That was their only win. They lost like 2-0 against Bahrain and then 3-1 against Saudi Arabia. I know there was a lot of controversy in that last game with Yunus Mahmoud, the Iraqi legend, talking a lot of shit about the Saudi national team, and then the players did some celebrations towards and after the game. So yeah, lots of drama in this tournament. Always provides good memes. But yeah, Iraq are, I would say, the biggest disappointment of the tournament. Kenta, would you like to talk more about that?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these teams that are coming in right now, right? You're looking at their form in World Cup qualification. Obviously, they're not coming out here with the exact same like squads for one reason or another. But for some of these teams that didn't even qualify to the next stage of qualifiers, I think that just doesn't help your case if you're trying to build momentum with your manager and to get some excitement, right, for your fan base as you head into 2025, try to qualify for the World Cup, especially for a team like Iraq, right? Like, that's just so disappointing to not even make it to the to the knockout stage. Regardless of how invested their fan base is, I really, quite frankly, don't know how invested some of these countries are in terms of their fan base in the Gulf Cup, but it's very disappointing, I think. if you're looking at it from a federation standpoint, to not even make it to the knockouts to carry some good momentum into 25. So
Yeah, I know there's some big calls for Jesus Casas, the national team manager, to be sacked. So we'll see what happens. But I want to mention, I would say the biggest winners of this tournament, and no matter who wins it, are Yemen. They came into this tournament with 0 wins in history. I think they had like 27 losses and 6 draws in Gulf Cup history. Only lost 1-0 to Iraq. They were leading 2-0 against Saudi Arabia, but they lost 3-2. But then they got their first ever win against Bahrain, winning 2-1. And you look at the situation Yemen are in. They have no proper facilities. They have no league, no proper stadium. They have some stadiums, but they can't host in Yemen. And there's a lot of corruption going on over there as well. So, with all the limited resources that they have, I think the Yemeni people should be very, very proud of this team. So yeah, the knockout stages are set. Oman will play Saudi, and Bahrain will play Kuwait. And the final will take place on the 4th of January after New Year's.
We're going to be covering
Okay.
that, so stay tuned. Come on,
Yes,
guys.
of course.
Show some more.
So moving on.
Why you guys look so dead? Come on, we got to be hyped, man. Let's go. I can't wait to be covering. I'm so happy, man. Let's freaking go.
Yes. I would have been happy if the UAE made it, but disappointing, man. Disappointing.
Now
Okay,
we come to 2024. Oh God.
Kenta, I'll let you take over here. I'll let you take over because I think
Asian Championship went on. 2 groups of 5, so 10 total teams here. The semifinals just ended today, with Thailand advancing, the 2-time defending champions moving on to the final to face off against Vietnam in the final. Thailand, I mean, you look back earlier this year, they barely didn't qualify for the third round World Cup qualification by I don't even remember what it was, because they were tied with China for points, total goals for, goal differential. Like, it was everything, right? So I don't even exactly remember what the tiebreaker was.
I think it was head to head
for Thailand, but they drew on their head-to-head match, right? It was a 1-1 draw between Thailand and China in their groups. Anyways, it was one of those like 2018 World Cup where Japan barely made it because of yellow cards. It was one of those things where it's like you missed it by this much to not qualify into the next round of World Cup qualification that time. And they've bounced back in the competition that they've dominated for so long. They have the most. They've won it 7 times. They're going for 8, which is so far ahead of anyone else.
Points, by the way. Yeah, sorry too.
Points. What is head-to-head?
Yeah, because China won 2-1 in Thailand, and then the other game was a draw.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was home and away. Okay. I remember the draw. The 1-1 draw. I forgot about the 2-1 loss. Anyways, but very close, right? Thailand have played very well. They were down 2-1 in aggregate coming into today's match and won 3-1. And okay, Nick, we're not going to talk about this right now. I have the match on right here on my additional screen. It's okay. But yeah, it's been a very good competition. Philippines played really well. I thought that was it wasn't surprising, but in a group with Indonesia, for them to not make it out of the group stage, obviously we talked about how much of a rotation they've had in their team when I was talking about them earlier. But yeah, it's been a fun competition to kind of watch, and the final. The home and away aggregate for the final should be really, really exciting. I know Mac will.
I think that's really cool, by the way, the fact
Vietnam
that they have the games home and away. I think that's really cool.
And, yeah, the aggregate final is really nice. I really enjoy that. For these teams to be able to have multiple chances at it to get the better.
I wish the Gulf Cup would do that, since all the countries are so close. And I mean, when they're doing it, I don't see why they cannot. So yeah, very good idea, and they've been doing this for a while as well, right? It's not something new.
This is not something that's just been implemented recently. This is for sure something that's been happening for a while.
Guys, just a friendly reminder to the people watching the stream. If you guys haven't liked the stream, we're at 32 likes. Erfan might shave his head at 100. I don't think, unfortunately, we're going to be reaching 100, but 32 likes. That's insane. That's a lot of likes, guys. Thank you guys so much for the support. I kind of have the stream on my phone on my tiny screen, and I'm looking at the likes just go up. So thank you so much for that. And I saw a few people subscribe as well. So if you guys are watching the stream and you guys haven't subscribed, make sure to smash that subscribe button. Just like I'm gonna smash Kent after this stream. Yeah. So let's continue. Let's continue the stream.
We might see that on the anime very, very soon.
Whoa, huh? Nah, that's crazy. Nah, nah, that's crazy.
Okay, I think we should forget
That's
about
crazy.
That's a good friend of mine, Dan Slayer. What the hell is he typing, bro?
that. What's going on, man?
What the hell is that comment?
Arya Nourizadeh, very good insights.
Bro, I'm crying. For reference, he doesn't know anything about Asian football. I don't even know what he's doing in the stream, bro. Oh.
Any interviews soon? Actually, we do plan on some interviews in the next year. So yeah, keep an eye out for that.
Yeah. Which reminds me, if you guys haven't checked out the Jose Kojima interview, make sure to do so. It was a pretty good interview. Yeah, man, a good interview. Hopefully, we can do more.
Yeah.
What the fuck is an Al-Ain?
What the fuck is an Alain? Oh, that's so funny, bro.
For God's sake! Oh my God! Take a photo.
Guys, people weren't happy with us covering beach soccer and futsal. Guys, it's the Asian football show, man. We're covering every inch of Asian football, whether it's under 8 handicap futsal. We are covering that shit exclusive.
We will be there.
We will be there no matter. Well, Erfan's gonna be there. I'm not there at all.
Arya's gonna be there. Arya will be the only one there. He'll be there alone.
Do we have anything else on the agenda, or is that am I missing something? Oh, the qualification. Oh my god, I forgot about the qualification.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, saving the best for last. So yeah, the World Cup qualification, third round. We have 2 more windows left. Yeah, we have the March window and the June window before this round. And yeah, so let's start with Group A. Kenta, will you start us off with your thoughts on this group and maybe some predictions?
Yeah, I don't think this table is going to ultimately change in terms of like top 2, third and fourth, fifth and sixth. I don't think there's going to be much movement in the last 4 match days personally. I think you look at Iran. I haven't been entirely convinced by their performances. I could say the same about Uzbekistan as well. And then you look at UAE and Qatar. Obviously, Qatar have been disastrous defensively. We went over. I briefly mentioned how good they've been. They were defensively at the Asian Cup, and it's the polar opposite, right? I mean, they just keep conceding goals. Highlighted, yes, of course, by that 5-0 loss to UAE. It's just not been very impressive by the 2-time reigning Asian Cup champions there. But as a whole, I don't think there's anything that surprising with Group A. Nothing. I don't expect anything too crazy to happen. Maybe the March window, the upcoming window, kind of changes that, and all of a sudden we're looking into June, and it's more exciting, and there's more at stake. But I really don't anticipate that happening.
Arya, I think you're muted.
Sorry, I muted my mic by accident. Yeah, we're shit.
Yeah.
There's no 2 ways about it. We're wank. Okay. Cool. We're first in the group with 5 other teams that we should be beating day in, day out, with all due respect. Not good results, man. The only convincing win was against Qatar, not 4-1. That was the only convincing win. The rest was all just a whole lot of garbage, to be honest. Lots of people always telling me I'm overcritical, I'm too harsh. Nah, man. We were expected to win these games much better than what we're doing right now. Okay, the especially the last 2 games against North Korea and Kyrgyzstan, it's unacceptable. Unacceptable, man. Unacceptable. That is insane. and Mr. Ardeshir Alinoui, that kebab munching badass, needs to do something because I'm losing patience with this national team. And I hope we don't get demonetized or something. But yeah, man, we need to do something. You know, if you have to put me into the pitch, I'll do it. I'll do the job. I'll have you guys as my assistant coaches as well. We'll lead Iran to a World Cup, man. Let's go. Let's do this.
Let's go.
but,
Um,
but but in all seriousness, cool. We're first. We got the points. We're pretty much assured to reach the World Cup, which isn't surprising anymore. With all due respect, let's see what the next two games entail, and hopefully we do well.
Yo, I missed this comment. So someone said no one cares about Olympics. But
Bro,
then the funny thing is, right after that, they were talking about Iraq at the Olympics. So,
that's funny.
okay. So yeah, my thoughts on this group. Yeah, I think you said everything about Iran, so I'm not gonna say much about them. But I do think that there's a possibility of UAE and Uzbekistan maybe fighting it off for the second spot because Uzbekistan, yeah, they've gotten the points, but they haven't been convincing. And the UAE, they have, I would say, better fixtures compared to Uzbekistan. I think they play, yeah, in June, UAE will host Uzbekistan. And the heat is very strong during that time here, so it could be an advantage for them. So I don't see why the UAE can't overtake Uzbekistan, but Uzbekistan do have the advantage here. They have the points. So maybe they'll be playing more defensive. On Qatar, though, Qatar, I think they're not going to make top two at all. But I think they're going to make it through to the fourth round. Kyrgyzstan and North Korea, two of the unluckiest national teams. Both of them only have combined one win. And yeah, they've been very unlucky, I'd say. And if some things went the other way, North Korea especially, they missed like 3 penalty kicks, which is insane. Um, so yeah, moving on to Group B. I'll come back to you here, Kenta. So it's South Korea being invited to West West Asia with all the other Arab teams. Kenta.
Yeah, I mean, I also haven't been terribly convinced by South Korea either. But they've gotten their results aside from playing Palestine and drawing against Palestine both times, and Palestine haven't played well against anyone else, which is just kind of just.
Sorry, I'm looking at the chat, bro. You guys are fucking insane. What is Dad? What are you doing, bro? What are you doing? What are you writing?
Anyways, yeah, South Korea. I think they're in at this point. And then it's between Iraq and Jordan for the second spot. Do they play each other?
Iraq and
They
Jordan.
do on the very final patch day, right? Very final in June.
I'm pretty sure they do. Yes.
Yes,
That's going to be a big one.
A big one, potentially with Jordan needing to win at home, based off of how the table looks to automatically qualify. So that might be a fixture to look at. I think Kuwait and Palestine, they still have a chance, especially Palestine. We talked about this last episode where, hopefully they can use that result against South Korea to kind of push them forward and to carry some kind of momentum in 2025 where they're a couple of results away from, finishing in top four somehow. And that's all you need to be able to stay alive in this World Cup qualification race. And I think they still have a chance, but, yeah, it's going three draws, 3 losses, and 2 of them being against South Korea is a difficult one to kind of I think pill to swallow, I guess.
Yeah. So for me, this group is split into 2 parts, and I think you guys would agree here. So it's the top 3, which are fighting for automatic qualification, and then there's the bottom 3, which are fighting for that last spot. Last fourth round spot. South Korea, yeah, even though they had 2 draws against Palestine, which shout out to Palestine, by the way, 2 good performances, especially away and so on. Yeah, even though they drew those games, I think it's safe to say they're going to qualify for the World Cup. Iraq and Jordan, like you mentioned, Kenta, gonna be very exciting. Arya,
Yes, sir.
yeah, sorry, I thought you were laughing for a second.
Look at the chat, bro. What the,
I'm seeing this. I'm seeing this. Yeah.
what the, what the hell? Apple, love your brand, bro. What are you guys saying,
Been there
man?
since iPhone 5.
Well, what is this? What is this stream
Yes.
become, bro? Yo, the podcast. This podcast is finished, man. Yo, this is taking so long. People are talking about Apple. That's crazy. Yo, a team I want to shout out: Palestine. Two draws against South Korea is massive. That's already the hardest opponent gone, right? Um, I would want Palestine to make it out. To be honest, I think that would be pretty interesting. That'd be very very nice. Obviously, considering everything that's going on as well. Um, so it's an interesting group. I'm curious to see how Iraq are gonna respond now that we're seeing that they're out of form and such. I'm excited to see what the next games entail for uh, for them. Who are they playing against? I don't know them off by heart. Can you just scroll down a little bit? I think they're playing. Who are
Yeah.
they playing? They're playing Palestine. Okay, and they're playing. Oh, they're playing South Korea. Okay, that's interesting.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting. That's a
Um,
very very.
Also,
Yeah.
I wanted to mention something about Kuwait. I think if they can build something off the recent Gulf Cup campaign, they can maybe qualify for the fourth round, especially since there's only a 2 point difference with Oman. Uh, so yeah, before we move on to Group C, James had an opinion. He said the round three groups are too forgiving. After 10 games per team, only a third of the teams are eliminated. I mean, yeah, but I think it also adds to the fact that there's something to play for until the very last match day. Whereas in some of the other years, most groups would have been decided by the last match day. So yeah, I mean, I get you in a kind of way, but I think I prefer it like this, especially since the expansion offers a lot more opportunities to smaller nations.
Yeah, I guess
Um,
also the counter argument right there is like, how else would you format this World Cup qualification system if you're AFC without adding more matches? Because I think the alternative would be like
exactly, yeah.
to have four groups so that uh, the top two in each group qualify, but that inherently would probably end up just adding more matches to the schedule for all the teams that are in World Cup qualification.
But I think if they did that, then there'd be less interesting games. I think that it would make it would make it too easy for the top teams to maybe qualify, giving but
Yeah,
the other teams less chances. So I think this is probably the best that the AFC could have done.
yeah, and even in round four, it's the same system where like third and fourth go for that intercontinental spot. So I think
Yeah.
this system makes the most logical sense in terms of allowing teams that maybe didn't get a hot start early on in the matches to still find a way to progress in this system to give themselves another 10 matches or another intercontinental cup or intercontinental qualification match to reach that competition, because there's significantly more teams in this 26 World Cup. So you have to find a way to give more teams a fair opportunity to win a berth
To
to
qualify, yeah.
yes.
So let's move on to the funniest group. So you have Japan, which is like, yeah, we're qualifying, we don't care. And then the other five teams. I mean, China has the second most wins of this group. How insane is that? I mean, after Japan, it's only China have 2 wins. The others all have 1 win, and there's a 1 point difference from second to sixth, and it's just insane. Like, I don't think there's any way anyone could predict this group. Yeah, Arya,
I
I'll
don't think
come
you
to you.
can. Yeah.
Oh,
No,
sorry,
you got it.
Kenta, would you like
Yeah.
to go first?
No, Arya, you
Yeah,
got it.
What
Arya.
was the question?
I mean, look at this group, second till sixth, just a
No,
one
it's a
point
mess.
difference.
It's a mess, man. I mean, other than Japan, this group has just been freaking weird. Like, what the hell is going on? China was, you know, it seemed that these guys were out of contention for a while, and then because of how weird the group has been, now they're like back in it. Like this group can change at any second, any second here, which in some ways is also really cool because like it actually brings so much excitement. And if I'm not mistaken, I think China played Japan twice, so I would say they're actually pretty lucky to have gotten Japan in the first games because now they can focus on the other games that now potentially maybe could be winnable, or at least they can get something out of it. To then maybe you can never know, they could be in the third or fourth, or even if they somehow miraculously win games in second position, you never know. You don't know how this group is going to turn out, and that's just, I think, just so cool to see. I would really like to see Indonesia make it out though. And I'm also looking at Saudi Arabia, who's just had a terrible dip in form, which I think, like me and Kenta, we talked about this many times off camera. Like we can genuinely see them not even making it, genuinely, with how poor they've been. Which, like, can you just imagine just a second this group, like, there's a possibility that both Australia and Saudi Arabia don't make it. There's a possibility that might be a thing. But yeah, man, it's cool. It's funny. 4 draws for Australia. I'm looking at the table now. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, I can't even give any predictions, to be honest. Could go either way. So yeah, the system is like this: first and second qualify directly, third and fourth go to fourth round, which will be in a neutral venue. So I think maybe the Middle Eastern sides will be more favored there in hosting those groups.
Guys, can we put a Dan Slay's
But
amazing
yeah,
predictions on the stream? I think his insights are amazing.
Group A, Japan and Jordan. Okay, fair enough. Syria isn't even there. Oh my god! Wait, that's not even Group A. Okay, so everything is just completely messed up over
there. That's funny. And then he ha ha says,
I think he got Group A and B wrong.
Well, and C. Why is Japan in Group A?
Oh my god!
What are we doing?
Yo, what the hell? Why is there like a full-on war in the comments now, bro? Guys, let's calm down. This is not what the Asian football show is all about.
Okay.
This is exactly what the Asian football show is all about. Just chaos. It's like a Facebook group. It's just all over the place.
Oh yeah, you're right. I mixed up A and B and C
too.
That's
everything.
Oh god.
Fair enough.
Oh, man.
This stream, guys, we're close to 40 likes. Guys,
we're almost halfway there.
40. We're almost halfway there, bro. We're not gonna reach 100 likes, but basically, guys, for everyone that's new, the challenge here was if we reach 100 likes to this stream, we're at 40 now. Erfan would have shaved his head off and gone bald, which that would have been something else. Yeah, man.
I think Japan H. Oh man, what's going on here, man?
Guys, let's calm down.
Oh god. Okay.
Guys.
Based on first 6 match days, China isn't strong enough to reach round 4. Yeah, but they've already played Japan twice, so I think they're favored.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They aren't strong on paper, I would say, but like we said, based on the first 6 matches, but they also played Japan twice out of those 6. They picked up form recently.
Oh my god! Okay.
If they how do I say this? I'm losing my words. If they keep on that form that they kind of built over the past few weeks, or Dan is not Iranian, by the way. He's not Iranian. He's just a lie. Yeah, I think they do have a chance. They do have a chance. It would be funny, like, just to imagine, like, they were so out of contention and people were, including us, who were grilling them for how bad they were, and for them to just bam come back. It would be funny. I would like to see it just for the memes, man. It would be hilarious.
Okay. Okay. So Not even where are you from? Where do you live? God
Yeah,
damn.
that's crazy. Like, why is everyone onto that, bro? He just predicted very wrongly, but he still predicted. Like, what would he lives across? That's true. He lives probably 10 minutes away from me. He doesn't live far, bro. But yeah. What was I gonna say? I was saying something. I just forgot. Oh, let the
You
man
predicted.
predict in peace. Let the man predict in peace, bro.
Okay. So moving on. So we had some fan questions on
Oh
Twitter.
yes, let's get into the freaking fan questions. Oh
Okay.
god.
So Matsui versus Mbappe comparison. Who's better?
I think Mbappe is
Kenta?
just.
No comment. Just no comment here. What are we doing? What are we doing?
I'm gonna be real with you guys. Mbappe, he's a turtle ninja. Matsui isn't. So I know who clears in that regard.
Fair enough. Arya shaving tutorial. Arya?
Um, what? Erfan has more hair than me
Maybe
right
in the
now, man.
anime.
He has more hair than me, but just get
I
a
have
razor, buy yourself
true
a razor,
Aryan.
and just shave. That's it. That's my shaving tutorial. Just shave. That's it. Like, there's no specific way of doing it. Get a razor, shave. That's it. Done.
Not even any shaving cream or anything. Or you're
No,
just
just
raw
go
dogging it?
dry. No water.
That's
No.
crazy.
Just go like. I want you to like hear the crunch of your skin,
A crunch
Oh
of
my
your
God.
skin.
Okay.
like that. You know when you
Yeah,
like
we can
shave
stop.
down.
Oh my God. So
That is not
Armin
advice
asked,
I can
do you think the
get.
eight-a-side the eight-a-side U17 tournament on Belarus is a good idea? So for those who don't know, there's this U17 tournament with Iran, Russia, Belarus, Azerbaijan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and two other nations. I'm not sure who they are, but yeah, it's basically the stand countries with Iran, Russia, and Belarus. Yeah, I think it's a good tournament. I think we can get to know the team better before the U17 Asian Cup next year. So yeah, I think it's a good idea. Anyway, I have another question. Padasha asks, is Jahan Bakhsh amongst the top 5 best wingers of Asia?
No.
What are we doing? What are
No.
we doing, man?
Okay.
What are we doing?
Kenta, of
No.
course you would say no. He eliminated your country.
He's just not good enough. And so it's just not not a top 5 winger.
He's not even the best winger in Iran's national team, bro.
He's not even top 5 in Iran, is he?
He's not even top 2. Like,
Yeah, realistically, there's Qaidi, Mohebi, Gholizadeh, Sayed Manish, and then who
that's
else?
it.
I think
He might be
fifth.
fifth.
He might be fifth. Yeah. Okay. So which Asian country will have the most promising 2025? Asked by Aspro.
So what was the question?
Which Asian country will have the most promising 2025? So he mentioned
Indonesia, I guess. I
Iran,
mean,
Japan, or South
we
Korea.
nah, I wouldn't be any of those. I would promising. I mean, we kind of talked about this in the beginning. Then I was like, the breakout most promising. Isn't that kind of
Yeah. We already talked about this, I'd say.
So yeah, Indonesia. Then.
I mean, I think it's Japan. If we're using the term promising as like who's going to have the best 2025 from AFC countries, I think it has to be Japan going into it at least.
Okay, sure.
But if we're using promising as like exceeding expectations, then we had that previous conversation where I think Arya Nourizadeh both said Indonesia. But I think that's I don't know what that question was specifically trying to ask. And the fact that he listed the top 3 countries in the AFC right now leads me to believe it's more just purely based off performance and not expectations, which is why I would say Japan for now.
Is Moral the best Iranian striker?
Bro, God, don't even answer that shit, bro. Next question.
Okay.
Next question.
Is Mitoma the best right now? The best what?
The best what? In form? Absolutely not. I think there's better wingers right now, Japanese wingers right now than Mitoma. You look at Junior Ito and how he's been playing, but for the national team, he's been better. Mitoma, I don't think Fabian Ertzler's system over at Brighton is necessarily suiting him well because he likes to invert his wingers a lot. And Mitoma likes to play out wide in those isolated channels to be able to take on players, right? Because that's where he's good. He has a good touch. He's able to dribble past players, and so.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but Dan is completely lost. I mean, Qatar dominates and is a lock for the third round. Kuwait holds second, but India might push out for surprise, bro.
I think he's spot on, man. I think he's spot on.
India from where, bro?
A lock for the third round? We're already in the third round.
No, I think it's predicted, guys.
I mean, technically, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
Kuwait holds second spots. Since when are they second?
Dan, did you go into ChatGPT? Like, what the hell is that vocabulary?
ChatGPT is better than this.
Push harder, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 second. Okay. Yeah. What else did you say? Okay, we actually have a good take here from James. UAE might be the surprise team of 2025. Their performance against Qatar on the November window was sensational. Yes, I agree. A 5-0 win against the defending Asian champions. Very good. Again, Dan mentioned Syria.
Unpopular opinion. I do think there's a world where UAE and Uzbekistan finish top 2. I'm just saying. I think there's a world where that happens. They both face Iran.
Not in this world. Not in this world.
I think there is. They both face Iran. And then
Iran, and they're both playing Iran.
And they also have to, but they also have to go into Qatar. So I think there's a reasonable world where they both are able to beat up on Iran somehow and get 3 points. And then now you guys are staring at playing in Qatar. And then Qatar somehow in the next 6 months manages to put their defense back together, and you can't come away with the win. And I'm just going to continue to keep talking to ignore Arya here. And you're in third place. I think there's a realistic world where that happens.
Kenta? Let's look at me dead ass in the eyes. It's not gonna happen.
I think I don't think it's the most probable thing, but I think there's a genuinely realistic world.
If it happens, I'm shipping you a Kai Havertz kit. How's that?
I don't want or particularly need a Kai Havertz kit.
Too fucking bad.
Is that supposed to be like a gift, or is that supposed to be like a threat?
Yes, of course. Of course.
Because I don't know if I'm supposed to accept a Havertz gift as a compliment.
Well, I'm going to personally come to where you are and give you the kit.
Okay, so you're not going to send it through Canada Post because we know what's happening with that.
Fuck Canada Post. Fuck Canada Post.
Oh yeah.
That is.
Oh my god! Question. Yeah, let's not read that.
That's a crazy question.
Okay, James, looking further ahead, how many AFC teams will qualify for their knockouts at the 2026 World Cup? No, I mean, there's gonna be a round of 32, so I say maybe like 4 or 5 nations could make the knockouts, considering that 3 made them in the last edition. So yeah, I think 4 or 5 nations could qualify.
It's 8 teams, potentially 9, right? At the World Cup from the AFC. It's 8 teams and potentially 9.
8 teams, potentially 9. Yeah.
And you have 8 of 12 third place teams also making it. I think we get over.
It's very possible.
I think that's a very reasonable thing to.
I don't think Iran is making out of the knockout stage with the way that we're playing.
It's also a year and a half away. We're looking at 18 months before the tournament starts, so a lot can theoretically change. Just saying.
Okay, the lack of goals in the PGPL. Why is that? Lack of talent? No, I'd say the PGPL has always just been a defensive league. And I think that's one of the reasons why our best goalkeepers and defenders have always been domestically, because they tend to stay in the domestic league more. This is a good one. I dare Arya to admit Ruzaba Cheshmi is the greatest player to ever grace a football pitch. Arya? I didn't say it. I never said it, so you have to do it.
I can't hear you, bro. I don't know what you just said.
Oh my god! Of course.
Bro.
Anyways, wait. I just want to look at this. Are you seeing this comment, guys?
Yeah, PGPL Arabic version of the. Okay, there's a lot of things that are wrong with that. Okay, first of all, Arabic version, the Persian Gulf Pro League, Arabic version. Bro, you just triggered me and Erfan. to the max, man. I'm shaking right now. I'm triggered. Yeah, well, I think you got to get your geography skills uh, a bit better.
Do you think if Eckert joins the national team, it will delay Kandi from getting called up? I don't think Eckert will join the national team. I mean, we saw the recent interview with the goalkeeper, but yeah. Okay. Um, so that's it for the fan questions. Okay, there's some big fights in the chat. I think we'll just ignore that for now. So I had some questions that I wanted to ask you guys. So what were you guys' favorite Asian football moment of the year? So Arya, I'll start with you.
Haha. Knocking Japan out, bro. That was an amazing
Yeah, I
experience. I
mean,
enjoyed it to the max. It was the greatest day of my. I'm kidding. Yeah, that was probably, I guess, favorite moment. Sure, uh, with all the circumstances, yeah, it probably have to be that. But then again, with the Iranian national team, you never have a good moment in your life because I remember, and Erfan, you remember this as well. Like I literally right after the game when we won, I commented under someone's post. They're like, "Oh, we're winning the whole thing. We're winning the whole thing," and I'm like, "We're exactly the type of team to win against Japan and then lose against Qatar." I wrote that and I called it because I knew like you never get the easy way out with Iran. There always has to be some sort of bullshit. I knew something was gonna happen. Not that we were gonna lose, but like I knew it wasn't like, oh, we won it. We're the best. I knew there was.
it wasn't gonna be easy.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it from the start. But that'd be my favorite moment for sure. For sure.
Kenta?
I will go to the Olympics. I know someone in the comments earlier said no one cares about the Olympics, but the women's in the group stage when Japan beat Brazil 2-1. It was a goal by Kamagai Saki and then Tanikawa Momoko late, both in stoppage time in the second half to win 2-1. I had the honor and the pleasure of working the She Believes Cup earlier this year when it was in the U.S. It's a kind of a friendly tournament that's hosted in the U.S. by the women's national team and a couple other teams. And it was this year, it was the U.S. women's national team, Brazil, Canada, and the Japanese national team. So for the second year in a row, actually there. So Brazil and Japan played earlier. They played late last year in a couple friendlies, and then they played in that She Believes Cup, and it was a 1-1 draw. And I remember talking with the manager at the time, Ikeda Futoshi, and he had talked about how it was a good learning experience going into the World Cup. So I was really anticipating that matchup, or not the World Cup, the Olympics, and for them to be able to win after being down for a majority of the match was a very enjoyable match to watch, considering how I had kind of tracked their progress throughout the year. So I think I'll have to say that one. Maybe not the biggest win in terms of, or the biggest match in terms of significance, but for sure the one that I enjoyed watching the most.
Yeah.
Cool.
For me, obviously the Japan game is up there, but I'm going to be a bit different. I'll go with the game against Qatar, the 4-1 win, obviously not the loss. It felt good to get some sort of revenge. Obviously, it would have been better to win in the Asian Cup, but it was still a good experience to demolish that Qatari side and to watch the Qatari fans leave early. So yeah, one bold prediction for 2025. Arya?
So hard to make a prediction. I don't know. Bold prediction. Bold prediction. Bold prediction. A bold prediction means it's most likely not going to happen. Is that the kind of vibe?
Yeah.
China making it in, bro. I don't know. Making it to the top four. I don't know.
When you say
Kenta?
making it in, do you mean top 2 in the group, or do you mean just making it to the World Cup somehow?
No, making it to the top. No, not top 2. That'd be crazy. Direct qualification would be insane. That's not a bold prediction.
That's a bold prediction. Direct qualification is a bold prediction.
You know what?
I would argue that them finishing top 4 when they're tied on points with third place is not inherently that bold of a prediction.
Okay, fuck it. Top 2, whatever.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay, that's a bold prediction. I'll do one for club, and then I'll do one for the national teams. For club, I'm going to predict that a non-Saudi league team makes it out of the West. That's my prediction. Okay. I know how good all 3 of them have been playing. I get it, but that's going to be my prediction. It's not going to be Al Nassr or Al Hilal. It's going to be one of the other teams that qualify for that knockout stage for the AFC Champions League Elite, which would be very exciting to watch, I think. For national team, I kind of already hinted at it, but my prediction is that Iran don't finish top 2. In terms of boldness, that's my prediction. I just can see it where like a world where Uzbekistan managed to win in Iran.
I mean, they can. Anything's possible.
Iran haven't lost at home in like 15 years, and then we haven't ever lost to Uzbekistan or the UAE. So
no, you just jinxed it, man. Thanks.
And then the UAE managed to win also in Iran this upcoming March window, and then now you have to go into Qatar, and then Qatar somehow turn it around in the next 6 months to find a way, and all of a sudden you're looking at still sitting at 16 points, and then you have to host North Korea, and that ends in a draw. And you're
do you know that
points.
Iran need like 4 points to qualify with the World Cup?
I have you guys finishing with 1 point in the last 4 matches there for that bold prediction.
We play North Korea at home. We play Uzbekistan at home. We play Qatar.
Yeah, so I have you guys drawing North Korea at home, and then I have you guys losing to Uzbekistan. The prediction doesn't work if you guys don't lose to Uzbekistan in the UAE. I'm just saying for the record, because that's also taking away 3 potential points for them. Okay. For them to also finish in top 2, that inherently means you have to be losing those matches. But it is a very bold prediction. So, I admit.
Yeah, I'll go for a bold prediction. It's very bold, actually. So the Club World Cup is coming up. I'm going to predict Al Hilal to defeat Real Madrid in the group stages. That's my prediction. Yeah, laugh at me now. Yeah, we'll see.
No, I'm laughing because it'd be funny. It'd be fun. I'm not laughing because of your prediction. I'm laughing because it'd be fucking hilarious if they did. It would be really funny.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it for our 2024 review. What can we look at in 2025? Well, there's so many things. There's the U20 and U17 Asian Cups. There's the Beach Soccer World Cup. There's the Club World Cup. The knockouts of the Asian Club competitions, Asian Cup qualifiers, and of course the rest of the World Cup qualifiers. So, anything else you guys want to add, Arya?
Running way out. That's it.
Kenta?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how this Club World Cup turns out. Obviously, it's coming to the States where I am. I don't know what to expect out of the competition. Obviously, it's brand new, so there's not really.
The groups, by the way.
Yeah, the groups are there. I think some of these matchups are really interesting, but I look at the Asian countries. You look at Red Diamonds. They didn't have a good year. They and also Ulsan HD. We know what's going on with them. I don't want to say it's cause for concern for me, but I'm just not going into it. And of course, it's just I don't know what to expect. They need to have good windows to this winter. So I think those 2 teams are ones to keep an eye on in terms of transfer market, because they would really need to go out and spend, especially Red Diamonds, because the summer window is going to be too late, I think, realistically speaking, to integrate a player and to get them ready. So for these Asian countries, like, go out and spend, whether it's for really good domestic talents or for non-domestic talents, and put on a show. I think they're in groups that they can cause some noise, make some noise.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys so much for everyone who joined. How many likes do we have actually? Let me check this.
We
real
joined.
quick.
We have 40. We have
43 likes.
43.
44. Okay. So let me like it as well. So it's 45. We're not reaching 100 anytime soon.
Come on, you gotta do
Okay,
something
so yeah.
for 40. You gotta do something for 45. Come on.
Nah. I'm not
Just
gonna do
shave
anything.
45% of your head.
You shave your beard.
No, this beard is holy. Never.
Oh my god.
Okay, yeah. So thank you guys again so much for
Thank you
tuning
guys
in.
so much for the support. Thank you guys
Yeah.
for the amazing year. Hope you guys had a good holiday, good Christmas for those celebrating. Yeah, 2025 is gonna be a nice year for us too. Hopefully, we're gonna. I feel like this is like the year 2020 would be the year that like we actually tried so many new things, including this live show. So yeah, we've got so much more to offer in 2025. Hopefully, it all goes well. It all goes to plan. Happy to spend more time with you guys. You know, we're all a family as well. So we're here to try our best. We're here to promote the game, the Asian game. Shout out Kai Havertz, amazing guy. Shout out Jamie Lieveling, amazing guy. Marga Hamano, the greatest female footballer of all time. And Radinoy out, please. I can't stand that kebab munching guy. Pisses me off. What else? Is there anything else I would like to say? Oh yeah, interview wise, we're gonna try our best to bring out the best people, interesting people too. And yeah, is there anything you guys wanna add as well, or
Nope.
no?
Goodbye. Thanks again for joining.